Check. Welcome everyone, and don't touch that dial because you are locked into the only station you need for Tennessee high school football action. It's Friday night, and you know what that means. It's week 10 of high school football in the state of Tennessee. We are on the road tonight, coming to you live from high above Creekwood High School, but sadly not in our own treehouse just across the way. Thank you for joining us here tonight. I am your host, Jim Sorrells, alongside my co-host, Kevin Criswell, and we are the voice of the Bobcats, bringing you all that is Greenbrier High School sports and information. Be sure to follow along with us all year long and join the conversation on Twitter, now known as X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or anything that uses that handle at VoiceOfCatsTN and the hashtag Greenbrier Football. Tonight's broadcast is Briar built and is brought to you in part by the Greenbrier Athletic Club, who for over 50 years has supported the Greenbrier Football Bobcats, and of course by you, our fans, family, and friends, as none of this is possible without your support. With fall break in the rear view, it's all eyes on Charlotte here on the outskirts of Dixon County. So, what do we know about the Red Hawks? For starters, there's a lot of distraction going on at Creekwood. Can Creekwood repeat your support? That's the question. With fall break in the rear view, it's all eyes on Charlotte here on the outskirts of Dixon County in volleyball last year in their first ever state tournament appearance. But as the Lady Red Hawks battle back to the borough, Creekwood has not had the year they wanted. Currently sitting at 2-6 and 2-3 in Region 5-4A. Last week versus Station Camp, it was labeled as a must-win game. However, the Red Hawks failed to meet the challenge, dropping the contest 43-9 to the Bison. With the region's top four mostly set, the number 4 spot can become hotly contested over the next 2 weeks. The first thing you'll notice about Creekwood on their roster is a lack of seniors. Where are they strong, though? Underclassmen. They are led by a junior in Alex Pinson, who has been the first man up at quarterback for the brunt of the season. His arm, arguably better at baseball, that line courtesy of Casey Patrick in the Dixon Post, is the reason he has remained that number 1. There's a tandem of Xavier Knight and Will McKinnon that will cheer up the turf with the running game. Last week at Station Camp, their playoffs technically started as both teams desperately needed victory to ensure they were playing past Halloween. The Red Hawks, unable to muster anything other than the 1 score and 1 field goal, they took the eventual loss. The Red Hawks' last chances are coming against the Bobcats tonight and the White House Blue Devils next Friday. Identically, in most facets of the game, tonight might look a little lacking on paper. The last time out for Gang Green, the Bobcats held Pearl Cone to their lowest offensive output of the season. It was still the Firebirds taking the win, however, 35-0 over the Bobcats. The 4th straight shutout pitched by Pearl had at least one potential score that will forever be debated. Nevertheless, Pearl locks up their share of first place as the Cats moved on to the Seashore. Nolan Carson finished that night 8 of 20 passing for 119 yards and 30 yards on the ground. Travarius Flood finished the night with 3 grabs for 49 yards. Dalton Wilbur grabbed 4 balls for 58 yards, and Nate Castleman finished with 1 catch for 12 yards. Carson Wood and Cameron Grizzard finished the night with 34 and 24 yards on the ground, respectively. Flood also adding 42 yards worth of kick returns on the night. Folks, we are excited to bring you another edition of Greenbrier Football here in just a little while from Creekwood. Don't go anywhere. We've got the Tennessee Waltz coming right up. This week on the Tennessee Waltz, we're dancing all over the nation, checking in with Max Preps and USA Today and their most recent national rankings. We're also checking in around the mid-state as Main Street Prep's newest Top 25 poll shows us their 10 for 10. 10 big matchups featuring all their top 10 teams. And finally, we'll round it out with the most recent region standings. We'll check on the status of all the tobacco barns around Robertson County. All this and more on this week's Tennessee Waltz. First off, it's nationwide. There is a new number 1 in town as Bishop Gorman out of Las Vegas, the Gales, and the frontrunner for Max Prep's National Player of the Year, Micah Alhado, has thrown for over 2,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. He is headed to play for Hawaii next fall. Your previous number 1 one was Mater Dei out of California, who was shut out by St. John Bosco out of California last Friday night with a score of 28-0. The Braves shutting out Mater Dei and the Monarchs for the first time since 2011. On down the list, number 2, Chaminade Madonna from Hollywood, Florida. Your new number 3 is St. John Bosco. Number 4 goes to IMG Academy out of Bradenton, Florida, and Mater Dei will slip down to number 5. McAllen, the only Tennessee team in the top 100, will check in at number 54. Gage Baker is your top passer in the nation this week after a stellar 430-yard performance last week for Paradise Honors High in Surprise, Arizona. He currently sits at 3,278 passing yards and 50 touchdowns on the season. By comparison, Tennessee's top gunslinger is officially Drake Fisher from Bluff City and Sullivan East High School with 2,299 reported yards and 22 touchdowns. And just for fun, your top national rusher is Hunter Bad out of Carruthers High School in California. He has 2,094 yards and 30 touchdowns reported to Max Preps. By comparison, in the Volunteer State, there are 3 to keep an eye on, and Calvin Mullins from Lake County with 1,898, Tyson Wolcott and Friendship Christian with 1,764, and our buddy Trip Pinion out of White County with 1,703 yards. Mullins had 0 touchdowns reported to Max Preps, but other sites have shown him with as many as 25 this year. So more on that as that develops out the rest of the year. Wolcott has 29 and Pinion has 22 reported scores. This week's Main Street Prep Top 10, no changes across the top, with Pearl-Cohn, CPA, Brentwood, Oakland, and Innsworth in your top 5. Page, Centennial, Lipscomb Academy, Mount Juliet, and Riverdale rounding out the top 10. As most schools are coming back from fall break, the picture starts to clear up for a lot of teams around the Tri-County area of Robertson, Davidson, and Sumner counties. Pearl-Cohn has their final tune-up against White House in a must-win situation for the Blue Devils. CPA tonight is taking on Franklin Road Academy, who sits at number 11 in the Main Street Prep poll. Brentwood and Independence, who is 14th in a big 6A showdown. Oakland is at Ravenwood, they're number 12 in the Main Street poll. Lipscomb is taking on Brentwood Academy. Previous number 25 Stewart's Creek dropped out after a 19-18 loss at Smyrna, which has back-to-back wins over ranked teams including East Nashville. Marshall County from Region 5 will climb up for the final spot at number 25 in this week's rankings. Finally, the mid-state game of the week outside of our trip to Creekwood, it's the Region 6 5A championship game between number 6 Page and number 7 Centennial. And then probably the biggest game in the entire state in week 10 is also the biggest rivalry game in the state. Undefeated Alcoa, they rank number 3 in this week's Tennessee Super 25 poll. They host number 17 Maryville. The game won't matter in the region standings, but the two programs combine for 38 TSAA football state championships. Alcoa has won the past 8 Class 3A state championships. They have 21 total gold balls altogether. The Tennesseans saw it like this with their Super 25. Remember, this is regardless of classification. McAllen, Baylor, Alcoa, Oakland, who was number 2 in the large class rankings, and finally number 5, Pearl-Cohn, who was number 1 in the large class ranking. And on down, no change to the top 10. And speaking of class rankings, the small class rankings have the Dragons of York on the rise, checking in at number 2. East Robertson is climbing back as well. They're sitting at number 3 this week. The AP was also released on Tuesday, in which Tyler, the Tennessean, questions why teams can...
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring this up, and we're going to take this into live as the Bobcats have taken the field. We just had the coin toss a moment ago and missed it completely. I do apologize. We will come back to that here in a second unless Kevin had some eyes on it. Got a lot moving up and down here in the press box here. About a minute 30 before we get underway here from Creekwood. Nice drive into Charlotte this afternoon. Nice curvy roads. Not car sick at all as we get ready for tonight's game. And as we come into the night, both teams sitting at 2-6. Of course, we talked about this all-time series tied up 6-6. It's a lot of similarities when you start going down the numbers as you look on paper. Both teams will look to get up over the 100th point they've scored tonight.
Looks like we will be kicking off, Jim. Bring me up there a little bit.
There we go.
All right.
All right.
We can hear us. I hope you can too.
start like mumbling like Beavis and Butthead for a second? Back deep for the Red Hawks. We've got number 11, and I'm talking over their PA announcer. It's going to be Brendan Adams. He is a junior wide receiver and defensive back. I believe he was included in the homecoming ceremony a few moments ago. Shockingly enough, for homecoming, the seniors finished fourth.
Yeah, that was a disappointing run by the seniors.
11 is going to field this kick at his own 10, and he is off to the races. The 20, the 25, the 30. 35 hit a big hole. He's got some jets at midfield, and he's still going. Back there is Will White looking to make the stop on the edge, and he is just going to be beat. And Creekwood will take that one all the way back for 6.
Well, that's for sure not the way you wanted to start.
Oh my goodness, that was a cannon or something that just went off down here. And so Creekwood will line up their extra point attempt here. Your holder is going to be number 5, Barton. Your kicker is going to be 22. That's going to be Caden Thompson. Taking quite a few minutes to get this set back here. I'm not quite sure what the delay is.
Week 10 for everybody, Jim.
I mean, there are no officials discussing with. Okay, so the black hat down here was
putting his jacket down.
Maybe that's what it was. I mean, the 40-second clock was running just fine.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was.
Yeah, that was very strange. Okay, so the white hat is here talking to Coach Thiel here at about their 40. Not quite sure what that discussion may have been here on the opening kickoff. There weren't any flags. There weren't any initial warnings, but the white hat is kind of standing down here like he's looking up at the press box to say something. Nope. Truly not sure what just happened. Okay. We're going to line up the extra point attempt here. Snap, set, kick is up, it's through, it's good. And Creekwood with the opening kickoff already leads 7-0 over the Greenbrier Bobcats. 11:49, not too much time taken off the clock, so it'd be just like we hadn't started at all. In just a moment, there's another one of those fireworks going off.
Let's hope that's the last one.
Only the third touchdown that Creekwood has scored in as many weeks. Most of their other points here lately have come courtesy of field goals. Of course, Bobcats coming back to it after fall break. Creekwood, they played last week at Station Camp, losing 43-9. I think that may have been the trigger to wake up the Bobcats. Hopefully.
Hopefully, if that wasn't, the cannon was.
It's too many Bucky stops. I don't know. They were hawking the pork chop sandwiches a few minutes ago, so maybe that's what it was. I know everybody in that end zone.
Big Dog had a ribeye sandwich and was offering me one, and I said, I don't think I need that trying to come up here and talk about a ball game. So, but he said they were very good.
But I know Miss Nixon sitting down there, and I'm sure they've all eaten pretty well with that food truck that's in the end zone. 22 will set up his kickoff away back deep for the Bobcats, your usual suspects. Fielded there by Grizzard. He's got it at midfield, still running. Gets it up to about the 25-yard line for he's finally brought down, and that's where the Bobcats will set up shop for their first series here tonight. Here we go on first down for Nolan Carson. Carson's going to go under center. He's going to have a loaded up backfield. And as he gets the snap away, we got a flag.
Well, we got a offsides on Creekwood there, so we'll take our 5.
So we'll try this again. First play from center coming up here for Nolan Carson. He lines up underneath. One wide to the left. That's Travarius Flood. He's dropping back to pass. He's looking for Flood the entire time. Lobs one up, just overshoots it as it falls incomplete at the 40. Flood was setting right at the 37-38, so just a couple steps quicker or just a little bit softer touch on that ball, and you've got a pretty connection there. Second down coming up here, 2nd and 5 coming up for the Bobcats. His shoulder work there was reminiscent of Peyton Manning there, Kevin. I don't know if you were watching him wiggle around right there, but that was under center straight drop back. That looked real good. Shotgun look here for Nolan Carson. High snap, gets it off to Carson Wood. Carrying around the right side. He's got a load on his back before he's finally brought down. And that's going to bring up 3rd down for the Bobcats.
Speaking of Peyton, I saw today that Peyton said he doesn't remember the last time Tennessee lost to Alabama. All he can say is it's been a complete Tennessee domination of the series since 2023 or 22.
It's true. It is absolutely true. But Kevin, I was talking to Andrew off air. I believe that Alabama has gotten statistically better every week. So we'll anxious to see how that one shakes out at 2:30 tomorrow.
Joe, baby.
3rd down for Nolan Carson. He's in the shotgun as he drops straight back. Quick firing out to the right side to Nate Castleman. It's complete as he turns on a dime and is pushed out of bounds. And that'll bring up 4th down. They're going to roll him down inbounds as he started rolling out of bounds. So the clock will still be moving. 10:47 to go.
That's interesting because the official waved his hands over
his
head to stop the clock. So it is what it is.
Hey, whatever.
Roll with it.
4th down and 8 coming up.
That was not the series you wanted to start with.
I believe that is Tyler Adams dropping back to punt here. Nice snap. Good kick. It's a very steady float there. For it's finally fielded there by Bryson Meeks. So it'll be Creekwood's second, well, I guess their first series on offense. It'll be their second crack at the end zone coming up here in just a moment.
First Bank Banking Local gets you more personal service, more answers, and more flexibility. Come visit the folks at First Bank, located at 345 Highway 46 South in Dixon. First Bank, Bank Local, get more, member FDIC.
2 wide for the Red Hawks. Quarterback is Pinson. He rotates a man to his right. He's in the gun. Little bit of early movement, and it's a bad snap. It's a jailbreak. The ball's on the ground. Pick it up. Pick it up.
Son of a gun.
Landon Schrock is fighting with it for everything he's got right now. And they finally got a whistle in there to get it down. That's going to be Bobcat football right there at the 20.
And Jim, I've got to say, Landon Schrock and Max Scarlock got in there and got that out of the pile because they had a player that I think snuck it back in.
Let me tell you how wide their eyes were because they were smelling that end zone. They were thinking big man scoop and score, but not going to be a hero this time. He's going to fall on it and scramble for it, and the Bobcats are going to be a decent field position. They're going to put it right at the 21 going in. So Bobcats with the second crack at it here. Nolan Carson's going to come out in the shotgun, 2 wide to the left, 1 man to his left. That's Carson Wood. Handoff goes to Wood running weak side. Had a seam, just tripped up by his shoelaces as he gets across the line of scrimmage.
Getting about a 1 game, maybe 2. They're going to give him 1. We got to get out there and get on our blocks right now. They're kind of beating us up front right now, and we've got to make something happen. Kind of tried a few different little things, and they've had the answers so far. And sometimes this game is poking until you find the seam, and hopefully we can poke it and find it.
Carson gets his men set up. He's rotating everybody around right now. We got a tight end to the left side. That's Luke Meyer. 2 wide receivers to the right side. Carson's in the shotgun with Wood to his right as well. Hands off to Wood running weak side. Now he fakes it. He's keeping it. Steps up into the pocket. He's spinning, and he's finally brought down by the back of his jersey.
I think they may got the horse collar there.
There was a flag coming in as he was falling down, and we've got some whistles there late.
It's either a horse collar or it's a hold. And it could be either personal. Oh, face mask.
Face mask set against the Red Hawks.
Depending on where that's at, they may be a first down. It'll be 15 yards from the spot, which in this case would actually be half the distance, I think. Yeah, it'd be half the distance. It won't quite move the chains. So in high school, it is not an automatic first down like it is in college and the NFL. So it'll be 2nd and 3.
Carson's got the shotgun look. He's got 4 wide with a man to his left. That's Wood. Man in motion is Flood. He gets the handoff quickly, and he cuts it up, and he's still churning and gunning over on the right side. He picks up that first down, but back here, keeping an eye on Nolan Carson, he was the timing of that hit, let's just say the timing of that hit was a little bit delayed. I'm not going to call it late because they didn't call it late, but they sure took their time to get there. That's what we'll say about it. First down and goal coming up for the Bobcats.
Very judicious.
8:37 to go here in the first quarter.
Very judicious.
So we're just inside the 10. I'm going to call that.
We're right about the 9.
Yeah, there we go. Shotgun look for Carson. Loaded wide to the right side, and here comes a late flag before they could get some movement going.
We got some movement
going.
We got it a little quick. So
I did not see that. That had to have been on the far right side. I could not see it.
What it looked like is that one of the Creekwood players may have shifted, and one of our guys may have reacted.
Reacted just a little bit.
I don't think he shifted. He didn't shift across the line. I think he jumped, and we did too.
8:14 to go here in the first quarter. Bobcats moving right to left here. A penalty kept the drive alive. Now a penalty has set them back a little bit, so it'll be 1st and goal from the 15, 16 maybe. Same look for the Bobcats. Carson's in the shotgun. Everybody's wide to the right. He's going to keep it himself. It was a high snap, so it threw off the timing of the play. So he did not get that burst of speed that he was looking to get.
Reese, baby. Come on. Get back. Live to fight another day, Bubba. Come on. Getting a little chippy already.
Of course, we talked about the nature of the situation here, Kevin. You know, Creekwood is still fighting. They are still very much alive here, but they've got to win out at this point. They needed that win against Station Camp last week, did not get it. So they've got to beat Greenbrier tonight, and that's going to set them up for the 4th place game next week if that's the case. But the Bobcats themselves still a lot to fight for. Still 2 good games, 2 winnable games on the road to close out the season. So you want to go out on a high note as best you can, but with tempers flaring and emotions getting high here early, got to keep that in check.
Got to stay composed no matter what happens. Above all, you've got to keep your composure.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the home concession stand, you can visit tonight's special sponsor, Zaxby's. They're set up and will be giving away goodies at the end of each quarter. Visit them at the table in front of the home concession.
Taking a look at that treehouse across the way, it is expanding ever so much every year. The trees have really grown in nice around it, so it's really an effective treehouse. It's more than just that outhouse that they just erected out there. It looks real nice,
It was a stand for a while, but it is becoming a house.
It is quite a sight here in Charlotte. If you've never been up here on this hill at Creekwood, it is. They've got a decent. I'd say decent. They've got a nice campus up here.
Beautiful
nice campus. 2nd and goal from the 11 for the Bobcats. Man in motion is Adams. Carson, he's rolling left. He steps up, throws one to the back of the end zone for Nate Castleman, just out of reach. Everybody rolls through. Everybody's okay. That'll be incomplete, and that'll bring up 3rd down and goal coming up from the 11.
Jim, you were talking about the delayed licks on the quarterback. That was about a 3-stepper there after he threw the ball.
And talking about Carson, he has been just taking those shots all year, just unprovoked and undeserved, taking those late hits like he has been, and he pops right back up every time.
He's a trooper for sure.
So 3rd down and 11 here for the Bobcats. 3rd and goal from the 11 more so. Shotgun look for the Bobcats, 2 wide to the left. That's going to be Flood and Castleman. Carson's flanked on either side. Carson Wood to his left as he drops back to pass. Looking to the right side, and it's tipped, knocked out of the way. He had a nice slant route there for Luke Meyer as he was gunning into the end zone. But a smart play from the safety. He was rolling over to the left side, and he knocked it out because he saw it coming from a mile away, I guess. So 4th and goal from the 11 coming up for the Bobcats. They're going to march the field goal team out. Out of the hold of Nate Castleman. White will set up his kick. High snap, set, kick is up.
Looks good.
He got it, I think. Oh, no, just missed it. Man, that had to have been by a hair because that looked great from our angle up here.
Yeah, that looked straight on to me, but
7:13 to go here as we're going to flip the script, and Creekwood will take over 1st and goal. And that'll be on their own 11. Handoff backfield, number 7's got the carry for the Red Hawks. He's going to be monitored from all the way across the field by DeAndre Thomas. Excuse me.
I surely hope that's on 7 because he jumped up and just acting a fool, man.
The result got in the way of. Anyways, DeAndre Thomas was watching him the entire time. His motion through the handoff to the other side, and he made a great stop. And he made a great stop. 7 pops up and gets into space, kind of bucks at him, and Greenbrier's going to be penalized for it. So now give a fresh set of downs for the Red Hawks here with 7 minutes to go in the first quarter. Handoff 7 again as he cuts through the middle. Gets over to the wide side, and there's Luke Meyer coming up with a stop. As he rolls him through, Nolan Carson was coming up for the assist too. Carson, as they were rolling around on the ground, I saw a lot of hands that were slapping at the ground. I was worried that maybe the ball would come out for just a second, but they're going to spot it right above the E, the first E in Creek there at midfield. So it's about the 49. 6:26 to go. Creekwood moving left to right here. Shotgun look 2 wide. Hands off inside as he cuts it back to the middle. The Greenbrier defensive line is going to swallow it up. They're going to call that officially no gain. Of course, also that front line tonight for the Bobcats. You got Landon Schrock, Reese Jones, and Luke Meyer. They're going to be supported by Preston Pointer, Gavin Landress, and Jackson All. The second level, you're going to have Owen Hassler, Dalton Wilbur, and Tyler Adams. They're going to be supported by Jack Keeney, Ryan Moles. Handoff 7 running dead ahead as he runs into that defensive line. Going to carry him through just a few more yards to pick up the first down. So Creekwood's going to crawl across midfield with a fresh set of downs. 5 minutes, 30 seconds to go here in the first quarter of play. Shotgun look for the Red Hawks. Handoff inside, running outside is 7. DeAndre Thomas, he's spying on that number 7 tonight. I guess if he's going to get the ball every time, I should probably say his name. That's Xavier Knight. He's a sophomore running back for the Red Hawks. He's one of 2 we talked about in the pregame coverage. Kind of splitting the load in the backfield, but so far it's been everything him tonight.
Yeah, it looks like they ran a couple in there, and I'd say we'll see some kind of a little slant or something. 11's out there in the slot.
Pinson in the shotgun, 2 wide to the left here. Fakes a handoff inside. He's stepping up. Throws it down the left side. Covered, set for step. I believe Nolan Carson came up with that. Interception.
Well played by Nolan right there. That was well defended. Quarterback underthrew it just a little bit, and Nolan is right there. Look at this, catching a pass in basketball season there.
Yeah.
That was a wonderful job there by Nolan.
Jay, Coach Spurlock, where you at? How many weeks we got?
Just a few.
Just a few.
I think we're down to 4 now, actually. Whew. Life comes at you quick.
It sure does. First down for the Bobcats, going 4 wide. Single backfield. Carson's in the gun. He's dropping back to pass. Wood throws a block. Carson steps up, tosses one to Nate Castman. It's complete on the right side. He's going to be rolling on through for a first down and a little bit more. And as he pops up off the ground, there are 4 Redhawks kind of standing over him, running their mouths a little bit. Nate's going to go on back to the sidelines, or excuse me, go on back to the huddle.
Yeah.
That'll move the chains.
I don't know. Just play the game. Just play the game.
First down for the Bobcats. Carson's in the gun with Wood to his right, 2 wide to the right as well. Handoff goes inside to Wood. Trying to work off the edge there, that tandem there of Brian Rancorn.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10, ball remains at the 22.
And Jackson all just not able to get the seam that they wanted. And it's going to be held there for no gain. They're going to mark it officially a loss that time. So 2nd down and 11 coming up. Second down here for Carson. He's got 3 wide to the right, 2 wide to the left, and he's under pressure. He's scrambling, still dancing, moving around. It fell apart there at the last minute, and the ball flopped out.
Looked like he got grabbed by the face mask, but maybe not. Lost a couple more there, and it's 3rd and 15 now, and frankly, you don't have a lot of plays for 3rd and 15.
Ball on the 16-yard line.
Whatever it is, Tyler Adams is going to run it into the huddle. 3rd down, 2 minutes and 13 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Bobcats still moving right to left, and they're backed up right now. Carson in the gun, rolling right, looking, feels some pressure, throws it off his back foot. It's tipped. It was going to be intended for Travarius Flood there on the sidelines. He was going to try to pin those feet down. It was tipped away, knocked incomplete, and that'll stop the clock with exactly 2 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. White's going to drop back to punt. No, sorry, Tyler Adams is going to drop back to punt. Snap is away. Gets that kick up. A nice high end-over-ender. It's going to bounce at the 45, hits the 50 to the 45 on the other side. They're going to call that right at the 47, I believe. So Bryson Meeks is going to down that one. Going to be Creekwood football going in.
The number 1 selling boat in the country. Buy your tractor boat from the most experienced team in Middle Tennessee. See it on the Marine, your authorized tractor boat dealer in White Bluff. Online at teamcnomarine.com.
First and 10 with the Red Hawks. Pins and breaks the huddle. Knight is to his left. 1 wide to the left as well. Hanov goes to Knight. He's running up to the middle. Hit immediately at the line of scrimmage. They're going to blow it dead.
Jim Weir, an awful lot of extracurriculars going on right now.
Reese Jones at the bottom of that pile. Cameron Grizzard is going to get that final hit to knock back the pile. They're unpiling slowly, which is what you want to do in a ball control offense. But they're unpiling slowly because they're all taking their time getting the last minute stuff. Like looks like Creekwood's going to take a timeout, maybe to get some reins on this just a little bit. Maybe 2nd down and 9 officially coming back when this timeout is done. Coming out after the timeout, Creekwood breaks the huddle. Bobcats got the defense set. Pinson, he's got 2 wide to the right. Knight to his right as well. Handoff goes to Knight. He's running straight ahead, right into the pile, and he's going to be held on by his shoestrings. Going to be Grizzard and Hassler there tag teaming for the stop. And it'll be 3rd down. He danced around and picked up a yard or 2 there. It's going to be relatively short.
Yeah, about 3rd and 5 there. Still, we got a lot of jawing going on between these two teams, and I'm not sure who it is more than the other, but I'm afraid this one's going to boil over before it's over with.
4 wide for the Red Hawks. Pinson's in the gun. He's got Knight to his right, trying to draw the Bobcats offside. Bobcats showing blitz. Here they come. Pinson gets it away. Carson had the – that was Nate Castleman. Castleman had the jump on it. It just slipped through his fingertips. That's going to be complete for a 1st down.
Yeah, it was a good catch.
So fresh set of downs across midfield for the Red Hawks. And looks like we're going to have a timeout taken on the field.
Creekwood 7, Greenbrier 0.
We have flipped sides here, and we are heading on into the 2nd quarter. Creekwood's going to still have it 1st down, moving the other direction. Pinson gives it to Knight. Knight trying to hit the corner.
Got a hold.
Hits it up. We got flags coming in from all over the place. There's Cameron Grizzard locked up with somebody there at midfield as they tumble forward as well.
Got a hold on them. Is that all we've got? No doubt about the hold, but is that all they're going to call? I think looks like that might be it. That'll be it.
So now 1st and 20 for the Red Hawks. And they find themselves in the same position. What do you dial up? Shotgun look for the Red Hawks. Man in motion. That's where we'll go. Brought down in the backfield there by Reese Jones.
It's not a bad job right there. Maybe gained a half a yard, but he didn't get much at all.
Gain of 1 on the play. 2nd and 19. Ball at the 47.
Second down coming up. Pinson's in the gun. He's got 3 to his right side.
Left guard jump.
Little bit of movement there by that left guard.
Reese, come on, buddy. Come on, big man. I love you, dude. Keep that attitude in check, brother.
Second and long, ball at the 40.
So 2nd and 24 officially. That ball is spotted right around midfield in the second O in Wood of Creekwood.
2 words, not 1.
2 words, not 1. The entire existence of this school, I thought it was 1 word until the last few years when I was quickly corrected by the basketball coach. Pinson steps up in the pocket and throws a deep one, and it's complete. My gosh. That was Will McKinnon.
At the 1.
Right at the 1 yard line.
Goodness gracious. Oh, we may have some.
Prior to the flag being assessed will be at the 1 yard line.
Actually, I don't know, Kevin. I've got 3 different number 11s that I'm looking at here, so I'm not sure who that's going to be. The official roster says that is Brendan Adams.
Sportsmanlike conduct against Creekwood. And the Boo Birds are out. Careful, they've got a cannon and they've got a tree. They've got a tree stand. I kid.
I like that there's a clearing you can see straight through to the cell phone tower back there now. That's cool.
Gives us better reception on our
I
Verizon,
guess that's what it is,
Verizon
man.
MiFi
We'll take
hotspot.
it. We'll take it. So after that penalty, 1st and 16 for the Red Hawks. They're going to have 2 wide to the right side.
And we're back.
10:36 to go here in the second quarter of play. Pinson's in the gun. Hands off inside to Knight. Dancing around. He bounces off the would-be tackler and cuts it up to the second level.
Gain of 5 on the play. Second down, ball at the 11.
A bit of a collision there right at the line of scrimmage. A couple players slow to get up. And for the record, that is a call that you were hearing. It's not a real goose, as I thought it might have been earlier. Under 10 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Your score, Creekwood 7, Greenbrier 0. Creekwood ran the opening kickoff back, and both teams have been kind of stagnant since then. Every good thing is negated by 2 bad things. As Pinson drops back to pass, he fires one to the left side. Reaching for it, incomplete. So DeMattis Henderson was the intended target that time. He's one of the team's leading receivers. He's good for about 80 a game, according to Max Preps. Let's stop the clock with 9 minutes, 39 seconds to go. Full house switch for the backfield for the Red Hawks. And as they break the huddle, they're going to go 5 wide. Strong side to the left side here for the Red Hawks. Pinson's all by himself in the gun. He's dropping back, looking left, fires one over the middle. Incomplete. He tried to look it off. He was watching 3 receivers on the left side. They all ran an identical route, but your 4th inside guy it was a mismatch definitely there, matched up with a linebacker. But as he planted that foot and turned the corner, the timing was not there. It's knocked away, incomplete, and that's going to be 4th down. Officially 4th and goal, so they will trot the field goal team out. Snap, set, kick is up. That one this time is good. And it's your new score, Creekwood 10, Greenbrier 0. There's that cannon again, twice.
You don't just have an account, you have a community. Go to the folks at First Bank, 345 Highway 46 South in Dixon. First Bank and local get more.
Bobcats back, deep to return. Travarius Flood, Cameron Grizzard, and on the far side, Nate Castleman. Kick is away. Going to be fielded by Flood. He's working the left side, dancing around. He's got some room. Shakes and bakes. Still moving. He's at the 40. Tries a stiff arm, and as he does, he's stood up and brought down right at the 40. So a good return there by Travarius Flood. And some late flags coming in. So the PA announcer has announced that was unsportsmanlike conduct signaled against the Bobcats. Personal foul signaled against the Bobcats.
23 for Creekwood threw a punch at the bottom of the pile to give Greenbrier a personal foul penalty. We'll let the folks listening decide how that works.
It's like the teams in the AP polls, they're flip-flopping. They didn't even play last week.
Right.
So, like, how do you make that
go?
go?
Better week of practice.
Better week of practice. I guess that's what it was. 9:18 to go here. Bobcats with a shot at it. 3 wide for Nolan Carson. He's in the shotgun. Dropping back to pass. He's looking left. Pulls it up. He's going to take off. Feeling some pressure. He gets away from it. He's at the 30. He's at the 35, and he's finally brought down by his waist.
Good little run there.
Second and 1, ball at the 35.
Had something that was nothing, and he made 9 yards of hay out of it.
Some well-educated feet there by Nolan Carson to dance around. It's when you start talking about that field of vision for your quarterback.
Yeah.
I believe my coworkers referred to that as wide mode on your phone. I'm not familiar with this newfangled technology. Second down here for the Bobcats. Shotgun look. Carson, direct snap. He's going to keep it. Gets the first down, and he's just across the 40-yard line this time. So good another run there for the Bobcats to keep the drive alive. 8:22 to go here. Bobcats on the move, moving left to right.
Finally got a little spark in the offense there. I think everybody's shaking off the rust of fall break, and let's get rolling.
First down for the Bobcats. Nate Castleman is going to run out wide to the left side. Shotgun look. Handoff goes to Carson Wood as he's tripped up.
Tell you what, Reese with a heck of a block. Right
That was
there.
a great block.
There was nothing wrong with what he did, but he ran a man over the ball.
It was it was good enough. It took another player from Creekwood to come over and say, "Dang, man."
That was.
I'm glad. At least I think that's what he was saying. I don't know.
It was textbook good blocking.
Yeah.
It just hit him in the right spot.
Get him some syrup and some butter for. We don't track pancakes, but we'll give him that one.
That's right.
Second down and 8. Ball's at the 43-yard line. Travarius Flood is wide to the left. Carson hands off inside to Carson Wood. Now he faked it. It was a quick pitch. It was going to be intended for Travarius Flood. It's another one of those timing routes, and the timing just wasn't there that time. That'll stop the clock with 6:59 to go. Third down and 8 coming up for the Bobcats.
Pass was just a little bit behind him, and the DB made a good play on it as well.
Four wide for the Bobcats. Are going to be stacked up on top of each other.
Off the edge again. Goodness gracious.
Carson, Nolan
got
got
a
away
man.
from it. Wide up in the middle of the field is Nate Castleman. It's complete. Good block by Travarius Flood as he slips around the other side, and he is working deep into goal line territory. That was an excellent play that time for the Bobcats.
That was an excellent play. And I'll tell you one thing, too, on that block. Travarius did a really good job of kind of just shielding, because if he put his hands on him, it was going to be a hole the way he was turning. And he did a great job of just kind of shielding him and letting Nate get another few yards. And back in business again inside the 10. Let's make something of it this time.
First and goal from the 9. It's the second goal line trip for the Bobcats. First one was unsuccessful. It was shut down by a lot of penalties. Direct snap here to Nolan Carson. Still moving with the pile. He's going to be chased down from behind.
Hurdles a man. Pick up a 4, though. 3. We get down there to the very end. It's difficult to see exactly where it's spotted. It looks like it's just inside the 6-yard line.
Ball at the 6.
Second down and goal from the 6 here. Just under 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. The first half of play.
Been a quick moving ball game.
It really has.
The return of the Vuvuzelas.
We're on like a 15-year cycle, right? That was 2010, something like that.
Like the cicadas.
Y'all know what's next then. Thundersticks. More on that later. We're going to have a timeout here on the field. 5 minutes, 38 seconds to go in the first half. Bobcats going to be knocking on the door in just a moment.
And that was a Creekwood timeout there, so they didn't like what they saw or thought they needed to make a change. And
Guess we can take this chance to congratulate Mr. Will Kiefer. He was named All Mid-State for cross country earlier this week. They've got their regionals coming up Tuesday, October the 24th at Saunders Ferry. A special thanks to Dr. Osborne and Coach Whitaker. Good luck to Will to compete at regionals coming up next Tuesday.
yeah, I think the whole team will compete at regionals, I believe, because they won the district. I know Will was individual. I think we had several players that were that had individual awards from the district. So a really good job by the cross country team this year, and we appreciate Coach Whitaker. Throughout the year has done a really good job of keeping us updated and letting us try to put some information out and highlight those athletes that are making a difference in the Bobcat community.
5:38 to go here in the first half. Bobcats have it second and goal from the 6. We're going to have a bunched up look. Shotgun for Nolan Carson. Fakes it to the right. Cuts it back to the left. He's just following the wall. Can he get it in?
Not quite, but he's closer. Down to the 3, maybe the 4.
Gain of 2 on the play. Third and 4, ball at the 4.
was about to say the clock is moving slowly, but it's moving like a clock. And we're going to take a timeout to think about it here.
Moving 1 second at a time.
Had about 15 seconds left on the play clock for the Bobcats. Decided they wanted to take another look at it.
And you got to think in this situation, down 10-0, down to the 4. It's probably 4 down territory right here. Just need a good push up. For one good push up front, and we can put this in the end zone.
Timeout called by the Bobcats, their second timeout of the first half.
As we let off the broadcast talking about Creekwood, might have been a little distracted this week, and they no longer are. Homecoming's over, and the Lady Red Hawks were unfortunately eliminated earlier this week at the Class AA State Championships. They were looking to two-peat, just were not able to do it. I know East Robertson was still battling earlier. Wasn't quite sure of their scores as they were coming down the wire.
A couple of county teams, I think, were still in competition, so.
Let's see if X is going to give it to us and tell us what's going on. The Indians, speaking of East Robertson, the Indians up 14-7 over the Heritage Patriots. They're still in the first quarter. Back to work here. They're in Creekwood.
Boy, he's close.
He's very close.
They're not going to give it to him. Doggone it, they are not going to give it to him. How in the world?
Deep ball short of the goal line, 4th and goal. Ball on the half-yard line.
It was a handoff to Carson Wood running right between the center and the guard. And he had a great burst of speed and a strong push. But they're going to plant him down where his peaky toe was as opposed to where his knee and the rest of his body was.
Good call.
So we're going to stack it up, run straight at him. Carson, under center, tush push. Can we get it? There we go. Bobcats on the board with 4:14 left here in the first half. Had about 5 seconds run off that clock before they stopped it, but whatever.
Be all right.
Who's counting? White on to attempt the extra point. Going to be out of the hold of Nate Castleman. Snap, set, kick is up.
That one should be good.
That was a sidewinder that time, but we're going to take it. And it's your new score. Creekwood 10, Greenbrier 7 as the Bobcats start to claw back into this one. Oakland is starting to open it up over Ravenwood. It is 21-12. That one is at Ravenwood tonight. Bobcats out to line up their kick.
I've got to imagine we're going to take a little bit different approach than we did on the first one. Whether that be in coverage or in kick.
I'm gonna hope so, Kevin.
Yeah.
Kick is away. It's gonna bounce. Trying to hit the wide side of the field. There's Nate Castleman making a good play and coming in there with the best possible angle.
Got held out on the edge pretty good, but or at least it looked like it from this vantage point. Maybe we didn't.
Coming in there with that best possible angle he could was Ryan Moles, and I think he actually stumbled a little bit, and it would have been better, but he was able to lower that shoulder right at the same time as they were going for his shoestrings. So a good stop there at midfield. 4 minutes left here in the first half. Red Hawks are going to open up 2 wide to the right side. Pinson's in the gun. Handoff inside to Knight. He dances, gets to the second level, still going before Nolan Carson wraps him up and hugs him to the ground.
Good tackle by Nolan, but you don't really want Nolan making that
You don't want
tackle.
Nolan making that tackle because that gives you a first down every time.
Or doggone close to it anyway.
I am very surprised that they did not.
Measure it.
Yeah.
Do anything. Me too.
So 2nd down and 10, I guess, because that is. So that's going to be the first down that time. Landon Schrock coming up with the tackle.
And we've got the jawing again.
Drive continues 1st and 10, ball at the 40.
First down here is Pinson, hands off to Knight. Running to the wide side. There's Tyler Adams coming up with the big bear hug and wrestles him down.
It's good bear hug. Like to have a little bit better leverage right there, but I'm getting picky. The biggest thing you want right here is to keep them out of field goal range. And obviously out of the end zone as well. But Bobcats are slated to be the receiving team for the opening kickoff of the second half. About 2.5 minutes left to go in the first half.
2nd down and 6 for the Red Hawks. 3 wide. Pinson's dropping back to pass. Tosses one to the left side. It's complete and pushed out of bounds immediately. Okay, that was a first down apparently. Sure. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. The Creekwood Red Hawks are on the move. Handoff goes to Knight. He's running around the right side. There's Tyler Adams. And there was a body slam there at midfield. And somebody is down here for the Red Hawks as well.
Got a hold on Creekwood.
Somebody's got their helmets. There we go.
They got a hold on Creekwood, and I'm not sure what happened coming out of that pile, but one of the Red Hawks just kind of backed up.
He was up, and then he went back down. It almost looked like he was cramping.
I thought the same thing. And, well, it looks like they may be stretching him out there, so that may be what it is.
Official timeout. Red Hawks shaking up on the play.
This will be 2:02 remaining in the quarter, in the half. I believe the clock will start on the snap here, I believe. We did get to see former Bobcat trainer Tyler down on the field tonight. He was sporting his green and his star jacket, so it's good to see Tyler back out.
Is he here in relief? Is that what's going on?
He was not here in relief. He was here to just take in the game. I think he
okay.
lives out here.
Okay.
So he was out here, but he had his green polo on under his black star jacket.
They had called in some scrubs to fill in for Rachel a week or two ago. I don't know if that was still the case.
Yeah, this is two games in a row we've had former trainers here. So Red Hawk is up. He's gingerly coming off the field. This is number 13 for Creekwood. Looked like his ankle may be hurting just a little bit. He's hopping a little bit and a little bit ginger, but like he may get looked at and see what's going on.
Here we go. First and long for the Red Hawks. Clock's rolling, 1 minute 50 to go. Slot man's rocking. Got to be careful with that.
Yeah.
DeAndre Thomas put a lot of pressure on him, and he throws it away.
He did.
And he rode him all the way into the ground. That was clean. That was clean. We'll call that one clean.
It was a good job. And for the record, the white hat was right on it, and he was watching it, trying to make sure there was no face mask, no anything. He Oh, we got a hold back in the back.
I missed that one. Okay.
I did too. So with the new rules, that's 10 yards from the previous spot. It's supposed to be 10 yards from the previous spot. Oh, intentional grounding. Okay.
Okay.
Lost it down.
Okay. I mean, he did throw it well up into the Bobcat stands
I thought
over there.
I guess he wasn't outside the box.
So here we go. 2nd and a mile coming up for the Redhawks. Handoff goes to Knight. He's running to the wide side of the field, cuts it up right into a brick wall. Good job by the defense that time to read those keys.
Very good.
Get outside. Max Skurlock leading the charge there. Layden Schrock was there in the bottom of that pile.
3rd and long. Ball at the 42.
I'm a little surprised Creekwood doesn't seem to be a little more urgent, even if it is 3rd and 35. I guess they're going to just try to bleed this one down, and if you get something, you get something. If you don't give the ball back is maybe the theory there.
We got 1:07 left on the game clock, 20 seconds left on the play clock before we hit the half.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're going to call timeout here. Well, maybe not.
Try to draw them off, maybe. 2 seconds, 1 second, and there's the delay. So they called the timeout right at it. Okay, I see.
They ran that one down. They'll run their 3rd down play. If somehow you pick up 35, you picked up 35 and got in field goal range. If you don't, you've bled the clock down about as much as you can there. I thought Andrew was booing behind me for a minute.
Can we tone it down back there a little bit? I mean, come on, man. What's that Simpsons joke? Oh, they're saying boo earns.
They're not booing, they're brewing.
Oh, there you go. Oh, for, the guy that does the things for your team. Gotcha.
Well, he's injured now after breaking his ankle.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. That shows how much I'm paying attention to college football this year. It's hard to pay attention when you haven't
It's okay.
won a game in a few weeks.
Vanderbilt was tied with Georgia for the first couple seconds.
By God, they were. They put everything they had into that first quarter. 3rd and 35. Stuffed there by Nate Castleman on the far side. There's another hold.
I'm assuming we're going to decline that, try to make a punt for 4th and 33.
Penalty was used by the Bobcats. 4th down. Ball at the 41.
And Jim, the big thing there is because of the penalty, the clock will not start until the snap.
So 40 seconds to go here in the first half. Is he yelling boo through the Vuvuzela? Like what?
Oh, no, they're offsides. There you go.
Coach Thiel's not happy about any of those efforts right there.
That is that's the kind of stuff that drives coaches nuts week 1, much less week 10. And the clock should go back to 40 seconds. It should be reset because the penalty occurred before the snap. And I think that's what they're taking care of now. There were 40 seconds left on the clock. And that's what they're asking. They're asking us, but we don't have that control system. There you go. That'll work.
40 minutes back on the clock here.
Jim, it's like me and you trying to reset the clock. It's more difficult than it looks. You would think that it would be really easy, but it is not. That is one of the most frustrating things in the world.
It's a lot of pressure you ask of your volunteer groups of people that are trying to balance and wear 4 or 5 hats at a time. So much respect to these guys up here at Creekwood. They've been really nice to us up here.
They really are.
They got a good crew up here. I'll tell your bosses.
One of the best groups that we get to come work
Yeah,
with all the way
that's
around.
always been fortunate coming up here. They're always real hospitable.
We it may be because we haven't had a lot of good luck while we've been coming
Maybe,
around.
yeah. I don't know.
No, they really are. They are one of the best groups to be around as far as a press box crew. Always accommodating, always helpful, and we appreciate that because that's not sometimes can be a contentious thing.
Yeah,
depending on how big of a rivalry it is.
Bobcats going to take a stab at it here with 33 seconds to go. Carson, he's in the shotgun, dropping back to pass, feeling some pressure. He's got plenty of time. Steps up. He's going to take off. First down. 45-50 as he rolls out of bounds. Luke Meyer was driving a man towards the end zone, and I think they're going to say he was a little bit too rough on that one.
Really? You blocked him too hard?
I mean,
Sure.
Kevin, I don't know what else you call that because he was.
They got him for a hold.
It was okay, maybe. His arms are so long. Where's he supposed to put them? I mean, if you get outside the frame, sometimes it happens.
May still be a first down though. It's gonna be close.
So they're gonna move the sticks.
On a first down. We'll
Cool.
take it though.
All right. I don't know what is happening there.
We were about a half yard short on that spot, but
This
I'll
is,
take what I can get.
This is when I really wish we were showing video so you could see exactly what we just saw. 23 seconds to go here in the first half. First down for the Bobcats. They're at the 40, moving left to right. Carson's in the shotgun. Luke Myers, your man in the slot there. Driving back to pass. Tosses one. He's looking for Meyer. Was leading them in stride. It's going to fall incomplete. And that'll stop the clock with 17 seconds to go.
I think there was nearly another penalty flag thrown right there. Like a referee pulled somebody out of a pile and told them to get back to their side. And don't hurt your team. May have been a couple of people, actually.
17 seconds to go. Boy, that 40 minutes they put on the clock has really gone by quick.
It has.
Carson's in the gun. He's got 4 wide this time. Good block by Wood. Carson rolling right. He was throwing just a lawn dart intended for Travarius Flood. Had the angle on it, but it was going out of bounds. Sails incomplete. Just a bit outside, maybe. That'll stop the clock with 10 seconds.
It's a Joe Milton special.
I'm sorry, who?
You'll see it in a few weeks. I actually got to see him last year. I think he scored about 8 touchdowns.
It was a good second half for him, wasn't it?
I don't know. I left at halftime.
Yeah, we did too. We did too. It was rainy. It was cold.
That was Andrew's first college football game, or first Tennessee game. He did get to go to a P game earlier in the year, and we made it to halftime, and it was about all she wrote.
That's about all we needed to, Kevin. Third down here for the Bobcats. Fakes the handoff to Wood. Carson throwing it back across his body. It's going to be intended for Tyler Adams on the far side. That ball's incomplete.
I'm still not sure how that was not a penalty.
Tyler had to lower his shoulder and basically box out the defender to get him off of him.
Yeah, I'm 3 people looking at that, and nobody decided that was a problem. I'm not sure how that is, but okay. So with the incomplete pass, it's 4th and 10 right here. So you got to call a play that lasts long, at least 3 seconds. This is the old run around and throw it out of bounds. We'll do a draw play anyway.
Hey, look, draw first down there for Nolan Carson as he picks it up across midfield. But that'll do it for the first half of play. And here at the end of one, it's your score: Creekwood 10, Greenbrier 7. Could have put a few minutes on the scoreboard here. Let's take it to the half. Folks, we'll be coming back here in just a minute, and we will set up the second half. So don't go too far. You're listening to Greenbrier Football here from Charlotte, Tennessee, as the Bobcats are taking on the Creekwood Redhawks. We'll be right back.
This week on the Tennessee Waltz, we're dancing all over the nation, checking in with Max Preps and USA Today and their most recent national rankings. We're also checking in around the mid-state as Main Street Preps' newest Top 25 poll shows us their 10 for 10. 10 big matchups featuring all their top 10 teams. And finally, we'll round it out with the most recent region standings. We'll check on the status of all the tobacco barns around Robertson County. All this and more on this week's Tennessee Waltz. First off, it's nationwide. There is a new number one in town as Bishop Gorman out of Las Vegas, the Gales, and the frontrunner for Max Prep's National Player of the Year, Micah Alhado, has thrown for over 2,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. He is headed to play for Hawaii next fall. Your previous number one was Mater Day out of California, who was shut out by St. John Bosco out of California last Friday night with a score of 28-0. The Braves shutting out Mater Day and the Monarchs for the first time since 2011. On down the list, number 2, Chaminade Madonna from Hollywood, Florida. Your new number 3 is St. John Bosco. Number 4 goes to IMG Academy out of Bradenton, Florida, and Mater Day will slip down to number 5. McCallie, the only Tennessee team in the top 100, will check in at number 54. Gage Baker is your top passer in the nation this week after a stellar 430-yard performance last week for Paradise Honors High in Surprise, Arizona. He currently sits at 3,278 passing yards and 50 touchdowns on the season. By comparison, Tennessee's top gunslinger is officially Drake Fisher from Bluff City and Sullivan East High School with 2,299 reported yards and 22 touchdowns. And just for fun, your top national rusher is Hunter Bad out of Carruthers High School in California. He has 2,094 yards and 30 touchdowns reported to Max Preps. By comparison, in the Volunteer State, there are 3 to keep an eye on, and Calvin Mullins from Lake County with 1,898, Tyson Wolcott and Friendship Christian with 1,764, and our buddy Trip Pinion out of White County with 1,703 yards. Mullins had 0 touchdowns reported to Max Preps, but other sites have shown him with as many as 25 this year. So more on that as that develops out the rest of the year. Wolcott has 29 and Pinion has 22 reported scores. This week's Main Street Prep Top 10, no changes across the top, with Pearl-Cohn, CPA, Brentwood, Oakland, and Innsworth in your top 5. Page, Centennial, Lipscomb Academy, Mount Juliet, and Riverdale rounding out the top 10. As most schools are coming back from fall break, the picture starts to clear up for a lot of teams around the Tri-County area of Robertson, Davidson, and Sumner counties. Pearl-Cohn has their final tune-up against White House in a must-win situation for the Blue Devils. CPA tonight is taking on Franklin Road Academy, who sits at number 11 in the Main Street Prep poll. Brentwood and Independence, who is 14th in a big 6A showdown. Oakland is at Ravenwood, they're number 12 in the Main Street poll. Lipscomb is taking on Brentwood Academy. Previous number 25 Stewart's Creek dropped out after a 19-18 loss at Smyrna, which has back-to-back wins over ranked teams including East Nashville. Marshall County from Region 5 will climb up for the final spot at number 25 in this week's rankings. Finally, the mid-state game of the week outside of our trip to Creekwood, it's the Region 6 5A championship game between number 6 Page and number 7 Centennial. And then probably the biggest game in the entire state in Week 10 is also the biggest rivalry game in the state. Undefeated Alcoa, they rank number 3 in this week's Tennessee Super 25 poll. They host number 17 Maryville. The game won't matter in the region standings, but the two programs combine for 38 TSSAA football state championships. Alcoa has won the past 8 Class 3A state championships. They have 21 total gold balls altogether. The Tennesseans saw it like this with their Super 25. Remember, this is regardless of classification. McCallie, Baylor, Alcoa, Oakland, who was number 2 in the large class rankings, and finally number 5, Pearl-Cohn, who was number 1 in the large class ranking. And on down, no change to the top 10. And speaking of class rankings, the small class rankings have the Dragons of York on the rise, checking in at number 2. East Robertson is climbing back as well. They're sitting at number 3 this week. The AP was also released on Tuesday, in which Tyler, the Tennessean, questions why teams can flip-flop without even playing a game. As a lot of area and statewide teams come back from fall break, the last 2 weeks of the season will look to be clutch for some. In 6A, no changes. Bradley, Oakland, Brentwood, Germantown, and Mount Juliet.
The Golden Bears were one of the hot stories last Friday night, down 28-7 at the half, till the Bears clawed back to win it, 38-31 in double overtime. The rest of 6A was also unchanged from a week ago. In 5A, the top four went unchanged with Knoxville West still carrying the load, but Henry County, they're the one who knocks there in second place. Centennial, Southwind, who got one first-place vote this week and the only undefeated team left in 5A. And then finally, your new number 5 is Page, who flipped with Nolensville for the only changes this week. That rounds out your top 5 in 5A. In 3A, no changes on top as Alcoa takes all nods for first place, Dyersburg in second, Meigs County in third, Gatlinburg-Pippin will take fourth, and East Nashville holds strong at 5. Biggest mover this week was Covington. They jumped 2 spots up to number 6. In 2A, the Dragons, fresh off putting away D2A number 3 Friendship Christian 8-7 in a slugfest. They hold tight to number 1 in 2A this week with 3 first-place votes. Marion County will officially slide into second place after last week's tie. Huntington will place in third. Loretto, the Mustangs, is number 4. And East Robertson, they round out number 5. Coincidentally, it was the Mustangs and the Indians. They met Tuesday in the opening rounds of the state volleyball tournament. In Class 1A, South Pitt on top again. Dresden, Moore County, McKenzie, and Coalfield your top 5, with the only changes being the MASC slipping down to number 6. Neither MASC or Coalfield played last week. In Division 2 was Jackson Christian, Franklin Road Academy, and McCallie with all top nods this week. Class 4A, only one change towards the bottom this week. First up, Pearl Cone. Surprise, they take the number 1 spot. 9 first-place votes. Upperman, fresh off their victory on Highway 76 last week, they are number 2 this week. Elizabethton will take spot number 3. Hardin County, number 4, and Greenville at number 5. Macon County, number 6. Marshall County at number 7. Gibbs at 8, moving up 1 spot. Haywood falls to number 9. Stone Memorial will round out number 10. By comparison to your strength rankings, courtesy of CoachT.com and their strength versus success algorithm, Upperman might have just proved their worth now with an undefeated record of 8-0. They have knocked off 8 teams listed in the top 25. Hardin County, the second best of that stat, 6 meetings and unblemished. Pearl, they're at number 7. They'll have their 6th meeting with the top 25 coming up later tonight. Across the region, of course, we've got us here at Creekwood. White House, they are at Pearl Cone. With White House on the bubble, how will the Devils respond? Pearl Cone's last outing was against Greenbrier, where the Cats found a way to slow them down. Can the Devils figure out the secret formula and get that win to lock up spot number 4 in the region? We said it earlier, this will be Pearl's 6th meeting with a top 25 team, with White House checking in at number 22. Station Camp, they're at Montgomery Central. The Bison's record is a tad misleading, considering they played a gauntlet of schedule featuring Beach, Gallatin, and Springfield in their non-district schedule, along with already having seen Pearl Cone and Marshall County. Marshall County, they're at Whites Creek today. At the playoffs started today, Pearl, Marshall, Station Camp, and White House for Region 5. If Station Camp wins out and Creekwood pulls one out against Greenbrier, this will force White House and Creekwood into a do-or-die situation next Friday night. All 3 of those teams still in the hunt. With that one crazy way that the Bobcats could still make it in. In Region 6, it's all but short up. Hardin County, South Gibson, Jackson Northside, and Lexington. Chester County, they're on the bubble. They would need to win out to have a shot as well. With Hardin County and South Gibson already met, Hardin is coasting as they head into the number 1 spot. They would host White House if things started tonight. Around the county and everything it touches, we've got the White House Heritage Patriots at East Robertson. The Patriots cannot be looking too far forward in this one. They've got a region championship game coming up next week. Thanks to this research from friend of the show, David at Main Street Preps, this game will feature 2 of the best young players in the county. Freshman quarterbacks Xavier Murray and Kaysen Young have bright futures as the signal callers of their respective programs, with Xavier, the statistically best quarterback in the county this season. He's thrown for over 1,136 yards and 15 touchdowns. Springfield's taking on the Gallatin Green Wave. Springfield, by all accounts, should be locked in to make the playoffs, but a strong showing against the Green Wave could boost some confidence this team has lacked this year. Talented, yes, but the question pros, which team will show up on Friday night? Joe Burns, they're at Houston County and the Fighting Irish. Joe Burns is desperate for a win, should be the aggressor in this one. It's a long trek to Houston County, and the ride home could prove longer if there's a loss. Other games around the area tonight, you got Sycamore at Fairview, Beach is at Hunters Lane, Maplewood at Liberty Creek, and Portland is at Westmoreland. Thank you all for coming to hang out with us prior to kickoff. We will see you in Charlotte or right back here on VOTClive.com, Facebook at Voice of Cats TN, or YouTube using that same handle.
This week on the Tennessee Waltz, we're dancing all over the nation, checking in with Max Preps and USA Today and their most recent national rankings. We're also checking in around the mid-state as Main Street Prep's newest Top 25 poll shows us their 10 for 10. 10 big matchups featuring all their top 10 teams. And finally, we'll round it out with the most recent region standings. We'll check on the status of all the tobacco barns around Robertson County. All this and more on this week's Tennessee Waltz. First off, it's nationwide. There is a new number one in town as Bishop Gorman out of Las Vegas, the Gales, and the frontrunner for Max Prep's National Player of the Year, Micah Alhado, has thrown for over 2,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. He is headed to play for Hawaii next fall. Your previous number one was Mater Day out of California, who was shut out by St. John Bosco out of California last Friday night with a score of 28-0. The Braves shutting out Mater Day and the Monarchs for the first time since 2011. On down the list, number 2, Chaminade Madonna from Hollywood, Florida. Your new number 3 is St. John Bosco. Number 4 goes to IMG Academy out of Bradenton, Florida, and Mater Day will slip down to number 5. McAllen, the only Tennessee team in the top 100, will check in at number 54. Gage Baker is your top passer in the nation this week after a stellar 430-yard performance last week for Paradise Honors High in Surprise, Arizona. He currently sits at 3,278 passing yards and 50 touchdowns on the season. By comparison, Tennessee's top gunslinger is officially Drake Fisher from Bluff City and Sullivan East High School with 2,299 reported yards and 22 touchdowns. And just for fun, your top national rusher is Hunter Bad out of Carruthers High School in California. He has 2,094 yards and 30 touchdowns reported to Max Preps. By comparison, in the Volunteer State, there are 3 to keep an eye on, and Calvin Mullins from Lake County with 1,898, Tyson Wolcott and Friendship Christian with 1,764, and our buddy Trip Pinion out of White County with 1,703 yards. Mullins had 0 touchdowns reported to Max Preps, but other sites have shown him with as many as 25 this year. So more on that as that develops out the rest of the year. Wolcott has 29 and Pinion has 22 reported scores. This week's Main Street Prep Top 10, no changes across the top, with Pearl Cone, CPA, Brentwood, Oakland, and Innsworth in your top 5. Page, Centennial, Lipscomb Academy, Mount Juliet, and Riverdale rounding out the top 10. As most schools are coming back from fall break, the picture starts to clear up for a lot of teams around the Tri-County area of Robertson, Davidson, and Sumner counties. Pearl Cone has their final tune-up against White House in a must-win situation for the Blue Devils. CPA tonight is taking on Franklin Road Academy, who sits at number 11 in the Main Street Prep poll. Brentwood and Independence, who is 14th in a big 6A showdown. Oakland is at Ravenwood, they're number 12 in the Main Street poll. Lipscomb is taking on Brentwood Academy. Previous number 25 Stewart's Creek dropped out after a 19-18 loss at Smyrna, which has back-to-back wins over ranked teams including East Nashville. Marshall County from Region 5 will climb up for the final spot at number 25 in this week's rankings. Finally, the mid-state game of the week outside of our trip to Creekwood. It's the Region 6 5A championship game between number 6 Page and number 7 Centennial. And then probably the biggest game in the entire state in Week 10 is also the biggest rivalry game in the state. Undefeated Alcoa, they rank number 3 in this week's Tennessee Super 25 poll. They host number 17 Maryville. The game won't matter in the region standings, but the two programs combine for 38 TSSAA football state championships. Alcoa has won the past 8 Class 3A state championships. They have 21 total gold balls altogether. The Tennesseans saw it like this with their Super 25. Remember, this is regardless of classification. McAllen, Baylor, Alcoa, Oakland, who was number 2 in the large class rankings, and finally number 5, Pearl Cone, who was number 1 in the large class ranking. And on down, no change to the top 10. And speaking of class rankings, the small class rankings have the Dragons of York on the rise, checking in at number 2. East Robertson is climbing back as well. They're sitting at number 3 this week. The AP was also released on Tuesday, in which Tyler, the Tennessean, questions why teams can flip-flop without even playing a game. As a lot of area and statewide teams come back from fall break, the last 2 weeks of the season will look to be clutch for some. In 6A, no changes. Bradley, Oakland, Brentwood, Germantown, and Mount Juliet. The Golden Bears were one of the hot stories last Friday night, down 28-7 at the half, till the Bears clawed back to win it, 38-31 in double overtime. The rest of 6A was also unchanged from a week ago. In 5A, the top 4 went unchanged, with Knoxville West still carrying the load, but Henry County, they're the one who knocks there in second place. Centennial, Southwind, who got one first-place vote this week and the only undefeated team left in 5A. And then finally, your new number 5 is Page, who flipped with Nolensville for the only changes this week. That rounds out your top 5 in 5A. In 3A, no changes on top as Alcoa takes all nods for first place.
Dyersburg in second, Meigs County in third, Gatlinburg-Pittman will take fourth, and East Nashville holds strong at 5. Biggest mover this week was Covington. They jumped 2 spots up to number 6. In 2A, the Dragons, fresh off putting away D2A number 3 Friendship Christian 8-7 in a slugfest. They hold tight to number 1 in 2A this week with 3 first-place votes. Marion County will officially slide into second place after last week's tie. Huntington will place in third. Loretto, the Mustangs, is number 4. And East Robertson, they round out number 5. Coincidentally, it was the Mustangs and the Indians. They met Tuesday in the opening rounds of the state volleyball tournament. In Class 1A, South Pitt on top again. Dresden, Moore County, McKenzie, and Coalfield your top 5, with the only changes being the MASC slipping down to number 6. Neither MASC or Coalfield played last week. In Division 2 was Jackson Christian, Franklin Road Academy, and McCallie with all top nods this week. Class 4A, only one change towards the bottom this week. First up, Pearl Cone. Surprise, they take the number 1 spot. 9 first-place votes. Upperman, fresh off their victory on Highway 76 last week, they are number 2 this week. Elizabethton will take spot number 3. Hardin County, number 4, and Greenville at number 5. Macon County, number 6. Marshall County at number 7. Gibbs at 8, moving up 1 spot. Haywood falls to number 9. Stone Memorial will round out number 10. By comparison to your strength rankings, courtesy of CoachT.com and their strength versus success algorithm, Upperman might have just proved their worth now with an undefeated record of 8-0. They have knocked off 8 teams listed in the top 25. Hardin County, the second best of that stat, 6 meetings and unblemished. Pearl, they're at number 7. They'll have their 6th meeting with the top 25 coming up later tonight. Across the region, of course, we've got us here at Creekwood. White House, they are at Pearl Cone. With White House on the bubble, how will the Devils respond? Pearl Cone's last outing was against Greenbrier, where the Cats found a way to slow them down. Can the Devils figure out the secret formula and get that win to lock up spot number 4 in the region? We said it earlier, this will be Pearl's 6th meeting with a top 25 team, with White House checking in at number 22. Station Camp, they're at Montgomery Central. The Bison's record is a tad misleading, considering they played a gauntlet of schedule featuring Beach, Gallatin, and Springfield in their non-district schedule, along with already having seen Pearl Cone and Marshall County. Marshall County, they're at Whites Creek today. At the playoffs started today, Pearl, Marshall, Station Camp, and White House for Region 5. If Station Camp wins out and Creekwood pulls one out against Greenbrier, this will force White House and Creekwood into a do-or-die situation next Friday night. All 3 of those teams still in the hunt. With that one crazy way that the Bobcats could still make it in. In Region 6, it's all but short up. Hardin County, South Gibson, Jackson Northside, and Lexington. Chester County, they're on the bubble. They would need to win out to have a shot as well. With Hardin County and South Gibson already met, Hardin is coasting as they head into the number 1 spot. They would host White House if things started tonight. Around the county and everything it touches, we've got the White House Heritage Patriots at East Robertson. The Patriots cannot be looking too far forward in this one. They've got a region championship game coming up next week. Thanks to this research from friend of the show, David at Main Street Preps, this game will feature 2 of the best young players in the county. Freshman quarterbacks Xavier Murray and Kaysen Young have bright futures as the signal callers of their respective programs. With Xavier, the statistically best quarterback in the county this season, he's thrown for over 1,136 yards and 15 touchdowns. Springfield's taking on the Gallatin Green Wave. Springfield, by all accounts, should be locked in to make the playoffs, but a strong showing against the Green Wave could boost some confidence this team has lacked this year. Talented, yes, but the question pros, which team will show up on Friday night? Joe Burns, they're at Houston County and the Fighting Irish. Joe Burns is desperate for a win, should be the aggressor in this one. It's a long trek to Houston County, and the ride home could prove longer if there's a loss. Other games around the area tonight, you got Sycamore at Fairview, Beach is at Hunters Lane, Maplewood at Liberty Creek, and Portland is at Westmoreland. Thank you all for coming to hang out with us prior to kickoff. We will see you in Charlotte or right back here on VOTClive.com, Facebook at Voice of Cats TN, or YouTube using that same handle. We're going to slowly move this one back up here, and let's talk about a couple scores that are going on around the area. You got Pearl Cone there, Blanken White House currently at last check, 21-0. The big one I saw earlier was Alcoa. Where are they? They were tied up a few minutes ago.
Control F, Jim.
Control F is too easy. Why would I do such a thing? There it is. They are tied up 21 all, Alcoa and Maryville. Remember, that is not going to have anything to do with any of their region standings, but just it's one of the oldest rivalry games in the state, and it's just a fun one to talk about. So 21-0, 21 all there between Maryville and Alcoa. Trying to find some other scores. You got Bradley Central. They're in a tight one with Cleveland right now. Bradley Central, the Bears, one of the big schools up on top in 5A. They are up 22-20 over Cleveland.
Did you say Alcoa and Maryville?
Maryville, sorry.
Merville.
Excuse me, I apologize.
Nobody in East Tennessee knew who the heck you were talking about, Jim.
One of the shocking scores that I'm seeing coming out of 4A is Anderson County, the Mavericks, are shutting out Gibbs, 55-0. Gibbs was making some noise moving up that pole here in the last couple weeks, but getting a shock there by the Mavericks early on. Bearden, they're up on Morristown West, 24-14, so shout out to the Bulldogs and all our friends down in the Knoxville area from Bearden. York Institute, the Dragons, they are playing it on to Wartburg, 34-7. I'm not even sure where Wartburg is. I don't know if I've ever looked at them, so I'm going to look into that one here in just a moment. I thought that was Oakland getting beat up, but no, that is Oakdale. Rockwood up big on Oakdale, 29-12. There's a new score just in. Well, Kevin, as we get ready for the second half here, the Bobcats are scheduled to receive this kickoff, barring no crazy things happening with the actual kick itself. Getting back to it here, that first half, I'm not going to lie, no energy. Absolutely no energy from either side coming out of the gate other than that kickoff return. It got flat. It got quiet around here. So got to come out of this one, got to make a statement here quickly to get back into this one.
Set to kick for Murdoch's number 22, Caden Thompson, set to receive. Numbers 11 and 4 for the Bobcats.
That ball was fielded right at the 35 and a quick pile-up.
It was almost a problem.
It got scary there for a moment. We took a deep breath. Jack Keeney there coming up with the fielding, and he's just going to down it there at the 35. Nolan Carson's in the shotgun. He's got 3 wide. Travarius Flood is your running back, and he has got a nice burst of speed running behind Jackson All right there.
You got to be real careful right there. Had a man come in motion. He really turned up about a half step soon, and I think it got us for a hold there.
I mean, the only holding I saw was Travarius holding onto the back of Jackson. But as you must, sir, as you must.
Holding penalty called against the Bobcats.
I missed that one, but
I did too. Marshall County up big on Whites Creek, 46-12. They are on a collision course with Pearl Cone next week. That's going to be your region championship game. Hardin County up big on Jackson Southside, 20-6. So they are slated at and are going to finish at number 1 in Region 6. There's the Oakland score. Oakland up big on Ravenwood, 28-12. They're at the half. Crockett County and Haywood in a tight one. It's Crockett County 17, Haywood 14. Crosstown here, you've got Dixon County. They're shutting out West Creek, 24-0 right now. Springfield in a tight one with Gallatin, 7-3. Talked about that one earlier. The Springfield they've made the playoffs, but they're looking to build a little bit of confidence as they're heading down the stretch here. And what a confidence builder that would be to get a win over the Green Wave.
And we're back.
All right, let's try this again.
It is first
First
down.
and 20.
It's first and 20, no matter what the down marker says over there.
Carson's in the shotgun. He's got 2 wide, 1 on either side. Flood is your running back this time. Dropping back to Bass. Quick slant. Nate Castleman in and out of the breadbasket as it falls incomplete. And he punches the ground. He's not happy with that result.
For the Bobcats, pass is incomplete. Second down, ball remains at the 25.
No score at a station camp in Montgomery Central. Of course, we talked about Pearl Cone shutting out White House 21-0.
Darn.
Kevin, I know you're upset about that one. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, I expected Pearl to be up by at least 35 by now. I kid. In all seriousness, Jim, do want to say a shout out to our friend Chris Freeman. Chris is having a little bit of a battle this week, and nice option play there.
There's Travarius Flood getting up to the original line of scrimmage. But, yeah, Kevin, going back to talking about our buddy Chris.
Chris is having a little bit of struggle. He had to miss tonight's game, and I know that really broke him. I think he said that was only his 3rd game missed in 30 years. Chris, if you've been around Middle Tennessee at all, you know Chris either from all his years at White House. He's been doing radio for Liberty Creek and also the PA announcer for MTSU football. And he and I got the opportunity to do quite a few Lipscomb baseball games last year. So Chris, a good friend, a great guy, and we wish him well and hope he gets healed up soon because the world is better when he's on the call, that's for sure.
It's the truth, Kevin. It's the truth. He has been very helpful and supportive of us since we've been pretending to do this for the last few years. Golly, before we could even get the ball rolling here, we got another whistle.
Timeout called by Greenbrier prior to the penalty. The second timeout of the first half.
So that's going to be another timeout here. We'll have a 3rd down and 10 coming up for the Bobcats here in just a few moments.
We remind you that at First Bank, banking local gets you more personal service, more answers, and more flexibility.
Well, Jim, what was kind of a sloppy and flat first half has seemed to translate for both teams in the second half so far.
Bradley Central and Cleveland still inching close to a final. They are within 3 still. Bradley Central 29, Cleveland 26. Your final, Maryville 24, Alcoa 21. Just went final out of the Knoxville area. So how about that one? Alcoa, they were getting the lion's share of the votes there in 3A, so that's definitely going to shake some things up. Here on 3rd down, Flood is your man in motion. Timing route. Got it. Complete. 40-45. Flood still moving. Look at him spinning there. My goodness.
Where are they going to spot? Oh, my goodness, a short spot. Oh, my Lord.
Calling Fred Flintstone with his twinkle toes. As Travarius Flood was dancing down the sideline, he had some inches on that one, and I definitely think he had that first down before that last spin, but we're going to call it 4th and short, I suppose.
I don't know if he had a first down, but he was at least a half
He was close, yeah. It was much closer than where the ball was spotted. We'll just leave it there.
Goodness.
Leave it at that.
Goodness.
Gatlinburg-Pippin final 49-0 over Pigeon Forge. They're in control in that region. Carson's going under center. Full house backfield, full head of steam. First down is going to be your spot there for Nate Castleman. That was that formation typically looked like it is the victory formation, but this time they ran a play out of it. It was a decent little play.
Right.
Kevin, they're still hawking those pork chop sandwiches. We might get lucky and be able to grab one before we're out of here tonight.
Jim, I think they'll be sold out, but what Big Dog had, I almost had to get some.
I'm going to have to make some changes next year. 4:37 to go here in the third quarter. It's a fast-moving quarter, slow-moving action. Fresh set of downs for the Bobcats. Carson dropping back to pass, throws off his back foot. His intended receiver was going to be Nate Castman on the far side. He was interlocked, and he finally fell down before that ball could reach to him incomplete.
Yeah, got the turf monster there. Love the fan background noise there.
It is. They're passionate here, man. I mean, they've got a big student section. They're just awfully quiet tonight. Not much to cheer about.
It has been an awkwardly quiet game, that's for sure.
Too wide for Carson is Carson Wood. I'm sorry to chuckle about that. Carson was cutting it up quick, ran right into the back of his pulling guard, and laid a lick on his own man, but then was not able to keep on churning those legs. And then at the bottom of the pile, we've got an injured Red Hawk. Tried to get up, and they made him go back down, laying on his stomach.
I don't want to speculate, but maybe got the wind knocked out of him. They kind of fell and jarred real hard right there. It didn't look like anything was too crazy, but laying on your stomach like that, get the wind knocked out of you, it'll put you down. Hopefully he's all right, though.
I'm always fearful when you're stuck on your stomach like that. Kevin, when I was a freshman, we had a senior that running the football, and he fell and landed chest first on the ball. Point of the ball went up into his chest, even with shoulder pads on, and he cracked his sternum.
Yeah.
And it was one of the most painful things I've ever seen somebody go through.
Looks like he's sitting up now. So
Yeah.
that's a good sign. He's popped his helmet off, sitting up. So you hope the young man's going to be okay, because that's just not something anybody wants to see.
No.
And our man, Andrew Haley, with the sandwiches, or maybe just one. He said it'd be 45 for all of us. Everybody had to take a bite.
I'm not beyond sharing.
Same here. We've drank out of trough together.
Woo, look at that thing. All right.
It does smell good.
I'm good. Thank you, though. Stopped over in Dixon and went to the smallest Buffalo Wild Wings I've ever been inside of. It was like an afterthought of a Buffalo Wild Wings, but they were good, man. They were. That's the best service I've had at a Buffalo Wild Wings. So if you're in Dixon County, Buffalo Wild Wings is your hot spot for your pregame meal. Third down and 10. Carson, he's in the shotgun, pumps, throws one up for the right, throws it off his back foot, and that one's going to be picked off.
That one just floated on him.
It did.
Yeah.
Had everything you wanted out of it. Good protection, plenty of time in the pocket. Pumped it, stepped up. Castleman made his move, and then the wind just kind of sailed it a little bit further.
Yeah, it just kind of weird. It
It's
just kind of died up in the air.
I was going to say, that's that weird, it's almost humid but not humid. It's cold, so things are kind of heavy and just kind of mixing in the middle there is what I would say about it.
We really need Tommy Sorrells here to describe this better than us.
We had a slight delay getting the weather from Tommy tonight, and I did not have the time to cut it up and get it ready, so I do apologize, folks. First down here for Creekwood. Knight dancing. Off his left tackle. Pick up a couple yards there.
Gain of 5 on the play, 2nd and 5.
That couple stretched into 5 pretty
It sure
quickly.
did, didn't it?
So 2nd and 5 coming up here. Ball's at the 32, I believe. Too wide for the Red Hawks. Thank you. That should not have taken that long to throw. I'm so sorry. Little early movement there by the Red Hawks. And I kind of got lost in my own thoughts there. Kevin, this is our first Creekwood game that we have done that we haven't had a special visitor from anybody from the Dixon County Board of Education. Of course, if you've been following anything in the news here lately, you're well aware that Robertson County School Board has entered into talks with one Dr. Weeks. Was hoping he was going to be here tonight so we could get some thoughts from him and
He's smarter than that.
He's smarter than that. That's exactly what it is, because we got a lot of thoughts for you, sir. Oh my goodness. That chain of events that just happened, so let's break it down real quick. So Creekwood pass is going to end up being completed, but not after it went through 2 Bobcat defenders' hands. Tip, back into the hands of the receiver it was intended for. And that's just rotten luck is what that one is.
3rd down, though.
3rd down and 2. Pinson's going to be in the gun. He'll have Knight to his right. 2 wide to the left side. Bobcats are going to crowd that line of scrimmage. Handoff inside to Knight. He hits the gap hard and quick. Carson with that initial hit comes up and gets him. Max Skurlock throws a hit as well, but not before he picks up that 1st down.
I thought for a second he lost the ball, but he did a good job of holding on to it. We were going after it.
1st and 10, ball at the 44.
Fresh set of downs here for the Red Hawks here. Snap, hands off the Knight, running back to the weak side. Nate Castleman's going to break down and get that 1st hit. Cameron Gazzard coming up to finish it. And I thought maybe a Bobcat helmet came off, just his head's kind of wiggling around to the side. That was Reese. Reese, I thought he had got knocked on the head, but he was actually just looking for his mouthpiece. He's all right. Hanging tough there in the center of that defensive line. 2nd down and 5 coming up. 6 minutes, 20 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. Creekwood's in the gun, 2 wide. Handoff inside to Knight, dancing outside. Grizzard reaches out, slows him down just enough, but not enough to stop him before he hits the 1st down. Tyler Adams, Travarius Flood coming up to make the stop. The ball's now spotted at the 36, under 6 minutes to go. Too wide to the far side for Creekwood. They're moving right to left. Pinson's in the gun. Hands off inside to Knight. Hits the gap. Tried to bounce off a defender. Good wrapping up and sticking there for the Bobcats.
Gain of 4 on the play, 2nd and 6. Ball at the 34.
A gain of 4 on that last play. 2nd down and 6 coming up here. Clock's moving. 5 minutes, 19 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Creekwood slowly moving. They've got 2 wide up top. Pinson's in the gun. Knight is to his left. Give goes to Knight, running straight ahead. Hits a gap. Ball is ripped right out of him.
Go, Nolan.
Carson's got it.
Go, baby. Go,
He's hitting the streak.
Go,
40,
go.
35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, and Nolan Carson, just like Ray Lewis, ripped it out of his hands and took it all the way to the house. No flag. Creekwood player did lose his helmet back at midfield. Blink and you miss it. Bobcats right back in this one with that scamper by Nolan Carson.
That's a lead, baby. That's the spark you needed right there.
I was just about to say that, Kevin. You know, when you're looking for something to light a fire, to bring some kind of energy, what more than a spectacular result
grab
there?
and go.
Yeah.
sponsored by Speedway.
There you go. I got a bone to pick with Speedway. I can't change my PIN number to use my points.
Me either.
Extra point attempt.
No good.
Snap was a little bit low. It got tipped. So no good. So still a 3-point game here as Greenbrier takes the lead 13-10 over the Creekwood Redhawks. I'm glad I'm not the only one that can't get that worked out. Like, I've done everything that they told me to do.
Yeah, I can't, mine won't let me use my points. I've got like 50,000 of them or something. And
yeah.
So I've switched my allegiance to Thornton's.
Hey, well.
Mostly because Thornton still has my energy drink of choice. And also that fountain machine with the sugar-free vanilla syrup. Until they run out and I'm the only person that's used it. I digress, though. A little bit of interesting there, Jim, just looking at the field. It retained quite a bit of water, and it may have rained over here a little bit more than it did at the house, but I had some storms move through last night. But looking at the, let's say the left side of the field from the far end from the scoreboard, right in the middle of the field, man, it really looks muddy.
Right through the middle, yeah.
Yeah. What would typically be the crown of the field?
Bloop kick, it's going to bounce into the hands of number 4 as he dances around.
4 or 6 on the return.
I thought I saw 4.
No. It definitely wasn't 6 because he just came out. I think it was 16. We were both kind of right. It's a multiple of 4 and had a 6 in it.
First down for the Redhawks. Pinson, he's in the gun. He's got Knight to his right. Handoff goes to Knight, running to the weak side.
And he almost lost that ball again.
Trying to understand some physics and how this ends up working because the Bobcats have a great pursuit down the defensive line. Everybody's closing, everybody's playing their keys, and they are jumbling it up. But he is elusive, and he is just able to slip through. So where they would have him dead to rights there at the line of scrimmage, he's able to get 1-2 yards every time, just slipping through like he's greased up or something. 2nd down and 8. Pinson, he's on the move, rolling right. Directing traffic. He's got somebody in his face. He's going to try to keep it himself.
He's goodness gracious, he's held down.
DeAndre Thomas was in hot pursuit. And they're trying to get over there to break this apart before any tempers flare up. So great pursuit there by DeAndre Thomas.
It was a great tackle by the right tackle as well. Right in front of 2 officials. But
3rd down and 7. That'll stop the clock momentarily. 3 minutes, 57 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Oddly, that was only a 1-yard gain.
All that for nothing.
That riffraff.
Yeah.
I'm going to term I've thrown around a little bit this week.
Officially 3rd and 7. 4 wide for the Redhawks. Knight is to Pinson's left. Pinson dropping back to pass, feeling the pressure. Launches one to the sideline. I think it was overshot. I thought maybe he had completed it, but it wouldn't have mattered. But he did overshoot it.
Yeah, it's another tackle by the left tackle this time. And Landon Schrock's none too happy about it either.
That will bring up 4th down.
You got to be careful right here. I mean, this is kind of that no man's land where somebody may try a fake. 4th and 7, you know they're probably going to go on 2 here. You got to think they will. Number 11 out there, the gunner on the far side. And he's lined up. Only 1 gunner. I wouldn't be so sure this isn't a fake.
Sure was a low snap. He picks it up, kicks it end over end. Scary bounce.
Yeah.
Up as he went down and just kind of met in the middle. 2 wide for Nolan Carson. They're both on the right side. Carson's going to keep it himself, running left, back to the weak side. Gets across the line of scrimmage, picks up maybe 2. Moving the clock, 3 minutes, 31 seconds to go here in the 3rd.
gain of 3 on the play. Second and 7.
Second and 7 officially.
At the 27.
Checking in on McCallie, the state's #1 overall. They're in a hotly contested one with Knoxville Catholic right now, 24-20. Just over 9 minutes left in the fourth there, coming out of the Knoxville area.
Handoff to number 11, Travarius
Flood that time on the carry for the Bobcats. He's going to pick up another 2.
34.
I should give him several.
They gave him a little bit more. Okay, we'll take that. We'll take that. 3rd down and 4 officially is what's the spot. Checking against some of our other favorite teams from around the state. Dresden's up big at last check, 42-12 over Gleason. Third down here for Nolan Carson as he drops back to pass. Fires one to Nate Castleman. It's complete. First down. And that'll stop the clock momentarily. It was complete and almost like he's sliding into first base. He is still down on the ground, kind of working his leg out a little bit.
That's a little ridiculous from the Creekwood crowd there.
Nate is up on his own. He is sauntering back to the sidelines.
First and 10 ball at the 37.
First set of downs for the Bobcats. It's 1st and 10. Carson's in the shotgun. He's got 2 wide. Haynoff goes to Carson Wood, running left side. The weak side. Look at that extra effort.
They're saying they got the ball.
Number 30, Carson Wood on the carry for the Bobcats.
Is that what they're saying?
On the play, 2nd and 1.
I don't understand what his arm movements were there.
I don't either, but it's short. Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Ball at the 46.
What are they doing?
What? Yeah, I don't.
Why are they throwing the ball over here? I'm confused.
I'm very confused as well. 2nd down and 1 coming up here for the Bobcats. Maybe they realized it was still their football that was out. I don't know, man.
I'm not sure.
Haynoff goes to Wood, running the weak side again. Excuse me, the strong side. He picks up the 1st down right at the midfield logo.
Carry by number 30. Wood for
Late pushing.
Come on, guys.
And a late flag coming out here.
And it'd be Creekwood that picks up the personal foul this time. We have got to watch our reactions to those, though, because that easily could have been a personal foul offset right back by unsportsmanlike conduct. Gotta be careful there.
Personal foul penalty called against the Redhawks. 15-yard penalty.
We thought it was chippy on the field. It's getting real chippy in the bleachers in front of us. So. Sounds like me and you were down there, Jim, watching the ball game.
I'm gonna be honest. My earmuffs are really good, so I can't hear anything outside of my.
You got those padded over.
I don't know what's going on. I will take your word for it because y'all are just back here chuckling. First and 10 here for the Bobcats. Just under 25 seconds to go in the third quarter. Carson's going to keep it himself. Look at him dance through that gap.
Attaboy.
Had it not been for the efforts there, that the linebacker, he'd still be running right now.
Yeah, he almost broke
And
that
he put his hands up on his face like he was Macaulay Culkin. Like he was not believing he just made that stop. But
And that'll be the end of 3. Jim put 4 in the air, even if it's just us.
apparently that's not a thing anymore, Kevin. But hey, we're going to keep trying, and so will they. We're going to change the clock around. We're going to flip sides of the field. We're going to put the Bobcats back out there here in just a moment. It's Greenbrier 13, Creekwood 10. You're listening to Greenbrier Football here on VOTCLive.com. We on the far side over there. Yeah, it's like right as you. It's like right where the tape is. To yeah. Yeah, I'll do that. Well, makes you feel real nice, doesn't it? Okay. Good or bad? Or neutral? Okay. Just stuff.
And we're back. There you go.
There's Carson, keeping it. Still rolling. He's on the weak side, bringing it to the wide side now. Just up past the 20. That's going to be enough for a first down.
Yeah, that
Good little scamper there by Nolan Carson.
little draw play has been our best thing. And for right now, they haven't found a great solution to it. They're going to move the ball back to where he gave himself up, so it'll be right at the 20.
It's one of those things. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I mean, and it is running clock, and that's what you want right there. It's man, if you can put one in the end zone right here and go up 2 scores, that's huge.
Speaking of running clock, checking in on Pearl Cone and White House. It's now 49-0 in favor of the Firebirds.
Darn.
First down for Carson. Rolls to the right. Steps up. Tosses a quick one to Travarius Flood, and it just out of reach of him. There's another one of those timing routes, and, you know, Travarius, he's got some ups. But as he planted that foot, just not able to get up enough, and that's going to fall incomplete.
Yeah, it's just it's like the ball gets up there and just hangs. It's so weird. It's just not, I don't know. It's like it just almost gets stuck.
Finally getting a Station Camp Montgomery Central score. It's 44-7 in favor of the Bison.
Looks like the Buffaloes are going to win that one.
Second down and 10. 11-10 left to go here in the contest as Carson drops back into the shotgun. One wide. Now Travarius Flood is your man in motion. He pumps it to him. He's going to step up, and he trips over a Creekwood player that had fallen to the ground. All credit to Reese Jones. He threw 2 good blocks, knocked a man down, but as Carson started to scamper, he just kind of rolled over and was able to grab onto his sock.
Sometimes it's better be lucky than good.
Luck's for losers, Kevin. That's what I've learned.
I'll take what I can get.
If you have to rely on luck, then you were never really prepared.
I didn't say we were relying on it. I just said we'd take it if we could get it.
Of course, that's a professional wrestling adage. That's your first reference of the night, and that'll be all we do. Third down and 15 here for Nolan Carson. 4 wide, stacked on top of each other on either side. Carson's dropping back to pass. Wood throws a great block, steps up into the pocket.
Oh,
Good
pretty.
pitch and catch. It is complete.
That was pretty.
Nate Castleman making his presence known. He's back in the game. He's checking in.
That was good to
And
see.
there was
Nate back in
a collision as we all fell down to the ground. A couple of Creekwood players slow to get up. It's officially a Bobcat that's down and not getting up just yet.
It's one of their
Oh,
players.
okay. They called it an injured Bobcat from the PA. I don't know how Brian Rancorn ended up in the middle of that pile. I'm kind of glad he was there, I guess, but that's kind of we're not going to talk about it because that definitely should have been a thing.
We're going to call it good pursuit.
We're going to call it good pursuit after the catch. So excellent pursuit there, Brian. Thank you.
It's Mr. GHS, Brian Rancorn.
That's right. That's right.
And penultimate leader of the Pep Club once we get to basketball and baseball seasons. I always enjoy his antics times.
Over-under, the number of games he will be shirtless will be the big question in everybody's mind.
Talking about me or Rancorn?
Well, hey. Kevin, you usually wear a suit for basketball, so I'm not too worried about you.
Yeah, I'm layered up for basketball usually. Try to fit in with the crowd.
There you go. There you go. We dress it up, they dress it down.
That's right. But we're always classy. Most of the time. And let's roll that clock. Roll that beautiful bean.
You beat me to it. Nobody even knows what that is anymore. 10 minutes, 3 seconds to go here. Carson's up under center. Fakes that handoff. He's going to keep it rolling around the left side into the end zone. Come on, dude. There we go, sir. Nolan Carson getting that touchdown he well deserves there. Touching that pylon, putting 6 on the board, and the Bobcats have moved into a comfortable 19-10 lead over the Red Hawks.
All right, it's 9-point
They
game.
sure didn't want to put the score on the board there for a second.
9-point game. What do the analytics say here, Jim? I'm not sure. I'm guessing they say go for it.
Go for 2, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And if you go up 10, you're up a field goal and a touchdown. Obviously, you go up 11, and you're up a 2-point plus a field goal. But
And that's what we'll do. Carson's up under center. Same play. He's going to throw it this time. Luke Meyer at a boy.
And probably should have had a little bit at the end of it, too.
We'll take it. 2-point conversion is good.
And, Jim, there is a obvious swagger of one team coming off, and there's an obvious look of dejectment from another one.
Dejectment, that's a good word. 21-10 now your score in favor of the Bobcats. 9:52 to go here in the fourth quarter of play.
It's one of those big lawyer words.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know any lawyers, but I heard one use it one time.
Creekwood has piled back out on the field for this kickoff attempt. Because we're talking about basketball season. It's coming up just around the corner. Had media day the other day with the Lady Cats and the Bobcats. Kevin was up there right in the middle. And special thanks to Miss Jennifer Woodard and Ken Herndon for getting some good snapshots otherwise of the teams other than the usual paid snapshots. We're really excited for basketball. We'll be pushing out some more information about that here in the coming weeks as the Bobcats kick this one away. Bounce, fielded by 11 at the 20. Rolling to the left side. There's Bryson Meeks. He slows him up a little bit. Gets around to the side there. He's finally pushed out. DeAndre Thomas was in hot pursuit. Out of the way, it'll be Red Hawk ball. Here at about the 36, looks like. Whereas the Bobcats and Lady Cats will open up basketball season on the road in one of the TLSAA Hall of Fame games at Pope John Paul, or Pope Prep, as they like to be called these days. Your first home game is going to be Friday, November 17th, taking on Sycamore. Non-district game, but Sycamore is always a very fun, hostile, if you will, contest. Pinson's going to be in the shotgun. He's got Knight to his right, 2 wide to the right as well. Dropping back to pass. He's looking left, feeling the pressure. Danson taken down. That was great pursuit and a great effort there by Gavin Landris to bring him down for the sack. And he is still on the ground. Got a contingent of both Red Hawk and Bobcats out there to check on him. Had the wind knocked out of him for just a moment. And rightfully, I mean, I shouldn't say it like that, but Gavin, excellent effort there by Gavin to get that sack. He has been fighting in the trenches up there tonight. He and Reese kind of tagging out there in the middle, holding strong. Your front line right now has him at the nose. Preston Pointer's out there. We got Landon Schrock. That three-man line, supported by DeAndre Thomas, Owen Hassler, and everyone else that's walking up there on the left side. Extremely effective tonight. New quarterback momentarily for the Red Hawks. Flag. Coach Thiel's going to go ahead and keep Pinson on the sideline for the moment. Your new quarterback. It's going to be Riley Warwick. He's a senior. He's got 4 wide. He's dropping back to pass. Lobs one. It's complete. Travarius Flood there in pursuit of him. Takes a big hit as he's knocked out of bounds. Trying to watch some things unfold here. There's quite a bit of action going on in the stands as opposed to the field right now. So going back to that play, nice pitch and catch. So Travarius had him locked up, was going for the rip and the strip, and he was able to skirt around as he got a quick block. It kind of chucked Travarius in the shoulder pad. He lost a lot of yardage. It eventually recovered, all for a gain of 2. Big pass. Skurlock defending it. Incomplete. There was a flag that was thrown as Skurlock was coming down in the throws there. The official threw his flag, but he immediately regretted it, because that was just good placement of his hands by Max Skurlock. He had it right in the chest there of the receiver with his hand turned to the outside, almost like he was palming the football when it hit to the chest. So that it officially ruled incomplete. Stops the clock with 8 minutes, 30 seconds, and it's going to be 4th down and 8 here for the Red Hawks. And they are keeping the offense on the field. Senior Warwick is going to get another chance at it here. He's dropping back to pass. He's looking left the entire time. Lobs one up to the end zone there that time. Unfortunately, Nate Castleman may have tackled him before the ball had a chance to reach to him to catch. It is just it's pure comedy to see the officials throwing the ball around to each other right now, because they're having the same problem that the players are having to throw the ball through the air. Something about this air right now is very cold and very thick, and the ball is just not traveling as well as you wanted it to. So after that flag, so we got some defensive holding that's going to be the call. And that's going to be a 1st down nonetheless, 8 minutes and 24 seconds here to go. Work is going to line up in the shotgun. He's got 4 wide. Knight is to his left. That's where the give will go. Running straight ahead. Runs into a wall. He's still dancing. Landon Schrock comes in from the backside to make the stop. Grizzard and Thomas are going to team up to make the final hit to bring him down. It'll be second down coming up here. Clock's moving, 8 minutes and 5 seconds to go. Ball just across midfield for the Red Hawks. Here comes Reese Jones checking back in. Getting into the fourth quarter, this is where you start to separate the good teams. Big pressure coming from the Bobcats. Scrambling. Flushed out of the pocket. He dumps it. It's complete. Chased down from behind. That pass was complete to Henderson. Tackle made by Nolan Carson. We got an injured Red Hawk down here at the 45. Well, that pass was completed on the far side and pushed out of bounds. Going to be just shy of the first down marker. We got 3rd and 1 officially coming up here in just a moment. Back on the side closer to us here, we do have an injured Red Hawk. Pinson, your quarterback, is still without his helmet here on the far side. Thank you, Ms. Holloway, with that update. Pearl Cone up over White House 48-6 in the fourth quarter. That's going to break that shutout streak. Now, my next question would be, were those 2 field goals, was that a single touchdown? Just curious if anybody's got that answer. Because if you ask us, we broke that one. But wasn't our call. 7 minutes, 28 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. Again, 3rd and 1 coming up here for the Red Hawks. In the gun. Handoff inside to Knight, running straight up. He's going to bull it forward a little bit. Picks up that first down, but not too much more past that. So we'll call it a cloud of dust and move the chains. 7:13 to go. Red Hawks with a fresh set of downs. .650 to go. Creekwood, they're in the gun. 1st and 10. Snap. McKinnon dropping back to pass. Feels the pressure. It's dumped. Oh, they're going to call that a fumble. He's still going. He's still going. You have got to be kidding me. They blow it late. DeAndre Thomas had the scoop and score. That's a tuck rule if I ever saw one. I've watched the documentary. I think they're going to rule it incomplete more than anything. Meanwhile, over on New Shackle Island Beach with a big win over Hunter's Lane. Beach will be taking on the Springfield Yellow Jackets next week. Shelbyville interlocked in a tight one with Lincoln County, 29-22. They're in the fourth quarter. Second down here for the Red Hawks. Bad snap. Bubbled. That pass was tipped up and knocked away. Carson causing it to be incomplete in the end. And it'll stop the clock, and it'll be third down here for the Red Hawks.
Ball remains at the 41.
Warwick with the call. He breaks the huddle. 15 seconds on the play clock. 6:29 to go here in the fourth quarter. Fakes the handoff. Tries to dump it over the middle. He throws, shoots it. It's incomplete. And that'll bring up fourth down.
Robertson pass incomplete. Fourth down at Fleming. Ball remains at the 41.
Huntington with a big boy score, 61 over Camden Central's 13 tonight. And what was your mid-state game of the week? Page is just having their way with Centennial, 24-6. Still early in the fourth quarter there. Fourth down here for the Red Hawks. Launches one up to the end zone, way overshoots it. And that'll be a turnover on downs.
Pass incomplete for the Red Hawks. Ball is turned over on downs. First and 10 for Greenbrier. Ball at the 41.
Haywood and Crockett County still in the tight throes of battle. Haywood 28, Crockett County 23. 7 minutes, 36 seconds to go. Gallatin and the Green Wave has stormed back to take a 17-7 lead over Springfield. 4:35 left to go in that one. A minute 21 to go in the fourth. It's McCallie 31, Knoxville Catholic 27. That's going to be a fun one to close out. First and 10 for the Bobcats. Handoff goes to Wood. He's running to the weak side. Cuts it back to the middle of the field. He's got a nice head of steam as he gets across midfield to the 45.
Carson Wood resulted that play a first down.
Lots of questions there on the outside. Luke Meyer, Reese Jones, they were mowing over some people with some lead blocking. And a lot of people thought they were being a little bit too aggressive. I don't know. I think that was a good play. First set of downs coming up for the Bobcats. 5:50 to go here in the fourth quarter. Columbia Academy is going to do you one better. Columbia Academy 62, Mount Julian Christian 0. That's the biggest score of the night. Here on first down, Carson gives to Wood. Same play, different result this time. About a yard and a half. We're going to wind the clock. 5:18 to go.
Gain of 1 on the play, 2nd and 9. Ball at the 42.
Second down for the Bobcats. Nolan Carson's in the shotgun. Tyler Adams is your man in motion. Carson, direct snap. He's going to keep it. Trying to dance outside. Needed a block there from Travarius Flood. He got it as he moved to the outside, and there's a wall of Redhawks to stop him right at the 40-yard line. Great effort, great execution, but the amount of yardage that he gained was not as much as you wanted it to be. It's probably about a yard or so. It's going to be right at the 40-yard line. Third down and 7 officially. .358 to go. Carson fakes the handoff. He's rolling right, steps up. Throws one across the middle, intended for Luke Meyer, just through his fingertips. threaded the needle on that one, took a big risk, almost paid off dividends because there were 5 Red Hawks right there in the vicinity of Luke Meyer. And we've got some theatrics out here. I mean, I am talking Meryl Streep Academy Award level acting. This is incredible. As he flopped himself to the ground to get stretched. I mean, everybody in front of us is laughing about it too, so let's just call it as we see it here. That did stop the clock with 3 minutes and 51 seconds. It's a cheap and inexpensive way to stop the clock when you're trying to stockpile timeouts to make one last go at it. Bobcats going to run somebody on to step in for the punt team. Adams back to punt just at the 50. Gets the kick away. High. End over end. Bounces at the 20. It's going to roll backwards. Bobcats are going to down it at the 25. And Creekwood will have 3 minutes and 41 seconds to try to do something to get back in this one. So we check in on the east side of the state. Most things are going final. Maryville final 24 over Alcoa 21. Anderson County with a big score, 55-6 over Gibbs. That's gonna be an interesting shakeup in 4A as Gibbs was climbing the ladder and Anderson County was just on the outside looking in of that top 10. 4 wide for the Red Hawks. You got one up top by himself. He's going to be covered by Flood. Try to shovel pass. Knight. Knight rolled right into the hands of Gavin. He kind of T-bone suplexed him, moved him forward just a little bit. So he actually ended up losing a yard on that effort. Oh, they're going to call it no gain. Okay. 3:16 to go. It's second down for the Red Hawks. Again, 4 wide. One is going to be by himself out here on the far side, closest to us. Shovel pass inside this time. Nothing doing. Preston Pointer is going to be credited with that stop. York Institute still rolling right along. The Dragons 40, Wartburg 7. That's going to keep them atop of 2A. Four wide once again for the Red Hawks. It's third down. Quick pass over the middle. It's complete. Carson matching him step for step, holding on for dear life. Tyler Adams coming to throw him down, finish him off. It's going to be fourth down. And we are just over 2 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Redhawks looking back to the sideline. 28 seconds on the play clock. 1:53 to go in the fourth quarter. 4th and 2. Dropping back to pass. Feeling the pressure. Dumps one. It's complete. That was a great catch. Max Skurlock with good coverage. It was definitely a tie to the receiver kind of situation, but he's a little slow to get up as the Creekwood receiver. Quite literally jumping out of his cleats that time. That will stop the clock with 1:41 to go. So still a 2-score game. So even if Creekwood drives down quickly, got to get the ball back, got to score again. And I know this is a misprint, but I'm going to go ahead and report this. Sequatchie, 347 points over Grundy County tonight. Thank you, Coach T, for that one. here on first down for the Red Hawks. Feeling the pressure. There's Tyler Adams there. Ball's on the ground. Gavin Schrock fighting for it. I think they're going to whistle him down. Another set of theatrics. They're getting up there for the Red Hawks. Clock is moving. 1:09 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Second and 18 coming up for the Red Hawks. For every 2 steps forward, it's 1 step back right now. Pass is complete there at the 40. Carson just going to kind of run him along the sideline to push him out of bounds. Flag coming in late. Marked it around midfield. When a flag comes in there from way across in the middle from the back judge, most of the time you're going to be looking at some sort of holding or maybe a face mask. Instructing the sidelines to move backwards, so definitely is a face mask, but called on the Bobcats. Moves him back just a little bit. So 48 seconds to go. Dropping back to pass. Lobs one up for the right sideline. Incomplete. And we've got a fight here at midfield. Lots of things happening rather quickly there, so instead of breaking it down, we're just going to let them solve it at the field level. Just a complete mess here at midfield. A couple offsetting unsportsmanlike conduct fouls, no ejections. We're just going to keep rolling here. 42 seconds to go.
I did. My stomach is hurting so bad right now. I'm so sorry. This is why I don't eat before we do this, because I get too worked up, man. And this week on top of everything.
So the clock has started to roll here. 30 seconds left to go. And I think that's just going to be it. Creekwood's going to say, we're done. Greenbrier's going to run over to the side. Everybody's going to line up, and hopefully we're going to get out of here without any extracurriculars beyond this.
Please behave. Everybody, please behave. Please behave, guys.
Your final score tonight, Greenbrier 21, Creekwood 10.
Please behave.
So that'll improve Greenbrier's record in the series, 7-6 all time.
Boy, you always get nervous in these.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
we're
we're watching this with intent, especially after things just unfolded there a moment ago.
I cannot believe there was not an ejection right there.
Kevin, there was a helmet that came off, but I think it was just from the scramble at the bottom of the pile. I don't think it was because of the fighting. And I think because the helmet popped off, it got everybody kind of fired up because how did that happen? How did it happen? There's only one way. No, it just – football's an emotional game.
Well, if we all wore chin straps like we should.
hey, that's neither here nor there. Let's not knock those fancy chin straps they got these days,
man. They just need to pull them tight.
Yeah.
All right. So behave, guys. Guys, behave. Get out of here.
So you act like you've been here before. Greenbrier's going to come out of here with this win here tonight. And we're going to have one more crack at it next week. We're going to be on the road to Montgomery Central. So
from the hill to the lake.
From the hill to the lake.
There's a song in there somewhere. Yeah, be out at Montgomery Central. Two of the most beautiful campuses we get to visit back-to-back.
Yeah.
Montgomery Central just has that – they've got that cool lake or pond or whatever you want to call it. They've also got that football field on the elevated surface that will be about 35 degrees cooler than –
So here's your disclaimer. So as long as we can hold power, so as long as we can hold a signal of some sort, and as long as
the horn doesn't blow our speakers
shoot,
out.
yeah, man, that will. I am love doing what we're doing, but I hate going to Montgomery Central. I'm not gonna lie. Well, there's not really much else to say about this one. It was an ugly game, ugly win, but a win in the end, still a win. Bobcats will win their third game of the year. Fourth game of the year. I don't know. I can't count. Third game of the year. Hopefully we can get win number 4 next week. Try to look at for one last check. Kevin, is there anything else we need to put a bow on?
No, just go out to Central next week. It's a Central team that seems to be down, but it's a Central team that's played a lot of people really, really hard. They seem to be really, really well boom or bust, even though their record may not indicate it. But, I know they've had early in the year they were, against Creekwood. They ended up losing pretty big, but at the beginning of the fourth, they lost 43-25. I think at one point they led that game like 25-21. I
think the most notable score is the Creekwood score. It was a 1-point game.
Yeah.
And that's when you really just didn't know what this Creekwood team had.
Right.
A 2-point game with Whites Creek, a couple score with Fairview, but Fairview is a very formidable team.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a showing now. That granted, Station Camp and Marshall County have been kind of rough on them here, but
Marshall County was kind of rough on us.
Yeah,
too,
it comes with the territory. So that's going to be the season finale on the road at Montgomery Central next week. So folks, we'll have at least one more broadcast of Greenbrier football coming at you here next week. We'll do better next week prepping for this broadcast. I will admit that this was not my best effort. Kind of phoned it in. A little bit lazy coming off a fall break. Can't help it. It's
been a busy week.
Hey, that's to say the least. So folks, we're going to wrap this one up here from Creekwood. Greenbrier with the victory tonight. Folks, if you're listening, have a great evening. Have a great Saturday. Watch some good football tomorrow. I don't care where your allegiances lie. There's a game at 2:30 I think everybody's going to have their eyes on. I've got my dime bet on one team, and I will talk about that some other time. So, folks, once again, thank you for joining us here tonight. For Kevin Criswell, Andrew